Don't blame us for any side effects.
You thrilled our fans throughout the postseason with a great performance.
Gwynn and Chris are ready to go.
Hey, away we do go here. Welcome to it on a Tuesday afternoon. Gwynn and Chris program on San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan. Chris, hello. Tony Gwynn Jr. is in Peoria. He's on the call right now. Giants, Padres, spring training action. Game is tied at 1 in the top of the 8th inning. As soon as that one's over, Tony will be joining us, and we'll look forward to having him on the program in just a little while. Padres actually playing a pair of games today, split squad day. They're trailing the Cubs 5-0 in the other game. So,
what's the point of that?
What's the point of it? Just to get more guys,
work?
More guys get in the game. More guys get to play. More at bats, more innings. Nothing wrong with that.
You already kind of know where you stand, though, if you get set away.
I don't think so.
Really?
Well, maybe in this case you might be closer to it. Arise, Tatis, Merrill, Machado, Cronenworth, Bogarts, Hayward. That's your first 7 hitters in the game against the Giants. So that sounds a lot like what the lineup probably will be. So the other game, you have a little different look to it, right? Rosario, Sheets, Connor Joe, Oscar Gonzalez, Campusano, Forrest Wall. I can read into something if you want to. Ultimately, I think the first lineup is going to be pretty close to what we get on opening day. But there's still some, big question marks. We'll talk about that as we go along here. But before we get to baseball, before we get to the Aztecs in action tonight in Las Vegas, trying to I don't know if they can clinch the at-large berth. I mean, that's the big thing right now for the Aztecs. Win their last 2 for sure. Then I don't think they have to win the conference tournament, and they should be in the NCAA. So take no chances. But we'll talk about that as well. All coming up on the show, we've got we might have a fantabulous game show today, depending on when Tony joins us. We might even have a Rate the Radio call.
I think we're going to have a
turning back the
call.
clock here.
Sometimes we have to. Sometimes we have to dust off the old segments.
Strasburg, ready to go. All right, we'll get a little Rate the Radio call in today. We'll hear some of the fun.
Strasburg, ready to go.
Yeah, that guy's good. Give him a 10. All right, so all that stuff a little later. But I got to talk about something with you, Skraby, before we go any further.
What?
This is huge.
Oh no.
If I were to tell you that I was nearly involved in a life-altering, changing moment this morning.
This morning?
Yeah, life-altering, life-changing.
My gosh.
No, we didn't. Lori's not having a baby.
Okay, I never thought that.
I think that's way up there, on life-changing moments in people's lives.
Yes,
somebody has a baby.
Yes.
But no, that's not it.
I think I know what
think
it might
of some
be.
other. You know what I did today, so I think that's going to help you come up with might have happened.
No way.
Here's the thing: what else out there is a life-changing experience? Don't say what you think it is.
I think I know.
Say what you think something else would be that could compare with this before we tell what it is. I mean, I think a baby is a little too much.
Yeah,
like, we're having a baby, that's way more than
marriage
this.
is a little bit too much, but maybe just below.
What is along the lines
if you're a sports person?
If you're a sports person, right? What is along the lines of what I'm talking about? Bowling a 300 game? If you're a bowler,
that would be amazing.
I would think that would be something that would be way up the list. I don't know what else compares
Jocelyn
to
said
it.
Bought a new house, but that's not true.
No, bought a new house is exciting, but that's not it. It's something that happened on the field of play. And so when it's something that happens on the field of play, what else could it be?
On the chat.
All right. 17th hole today. Riverwalk Golf Course, Skrabe. Par 3, of course.
How far is this shot? I'm trying to envision the hole.
Yeah, it's over some berm, but it's about 145, 50 yards. You got
elevated green.
A little bit elevated, not a lot elevated.
Okay. I think I know.
Into the wind today.
Okay.
So I used actually used a 6 iron. I normally use a 7 on this hole. Went for the 6 iron. Caught it good. And it sailed out there, and landed on the green, maybe 3-4 feet to the left of the flag.
Okay.
And then started rolling toward the flag. And I got to tell you, for about 2.5 seconds, I had an outer body experience. I was like, I did not know what to do, what to think. Logo. My body was just flipping out. My stomach was churning.
Fell to the ground.
Almost. Alas, it rolled about a foot or two past.
Chris, you thought I almost played this.
You thought I had it.
You can't come on here and tell a story about a non-hole-in-one.
It was so now I'm getting jeered. It was so close that they almost gave me the gimme for the putt. That's how close it ended up.
That's pretty close.
Knocked it in, close. To make sure I got the birdie. But the reason I brought it up is because I never even expected to think about having a hole-in-one or anything like this. I imagine if I golf long enough, maybe. I mean, not everybody's guaranteed one.
I still haven't had one.
You haven't had one?
I've been playing since before I can remember.
Right, and I know there's some pros on the PGA Tour that honestly haven't had one. There's some that have had 5 or 6 and even more. But the point, the reason I tried to bring this up is because for that moment where the ball was rolling, you could tell it had enough on it to get to the pin, but I'm standing 150 feet away, so I don't have the exact angle. But I thought it was going to go in. So did everybody that we were playing with. And that was the out-of-body thing. I don't want to say I'm glad it didn't go in.
Why?
There was a piece of me that was like, if it went in, I don't know what I could have done. I don't know what I would have done. I don't think I could have lived up to it.
This is one of the weird things about golf, but whenever someone gets a hole-in-one, you have to buy drinks after for everyone.
Yeah.
For some reason, you get a hole-in-one and you have to buy everybody drinks.
Even if it's like 11 in the morning? Everybody's got to sidle up to the bar?
Especially at 11 in the morning.
Especially at 11 in the morning. Okay, I get what you're saying.
I mean, you are working. I think the guys you play with are retired, so they got nothing going
they could do it. Yeah, they could have done it. No, I didn't get it, but it just got me thinking on the way over, what compares to that? In sport, I mean, the 300 game, I think of, on the chat, give me something,
for me,
that in sports, hitting a home run, I think a lot of people hit a home run.
That would be it for me.
You throw a touchdown pass in a flag football game. I don't know. You hit a half court shot in basketball. That's not a hole in one.
I think for me,
so I don't know what it is. I don't know what compares to this, but I really think it would have changed my whole being. That ball rolled in.
I actually know
it's kind of weird. I'm glad it didn't in a way, because I don't know if I could have handled it.
I actually know one, and it is dunk a basketball.
Oh, dunk a bat. But see, that's not even possible.
For some people. I can't
dunk me. For one.
Yeah, I can't dunk these days either. People didn't believe that I could grab the rim either. But mine would be definitely some sort of walk-off home run
to win
like a walk-off home run, a softball game even. That'll work for me, because that's the only venue it's going to happen in.
I think hole-in-one beats them all. I really do.
Hole-in-one is on its own, because you have so many different things that have to work in your favor for that to happen. Like for a home run, there's not as many things working against you as a hole-in-one does.
I think this would have been life-changing, but alas. Rolled past, so I'm still on the list of people who don't have one.
Someone else said inside the park home run.
That sounds fun.
It does sound fun.
Sounds tiring, actually.
Yes, it does sound very tiring.
Running. It's a lot of running.
Tony has one.
Tony had 2.
A 2, yes.
Tony had 2.
Yes.
At the big league level. So that's a whole different story. Anyway, with that, we welcome you to it.
I can't believe you pulling a fast one on me. I thought you did it. I was almost crying for you.
I told you going into the story that I said, what is an almost life-changing event? I didn't say I had the life-changing event.
I didn't listen close enough.
Yes, you didn't. All right. Padres off-season grades came in today from my friends at ESPN Plus.
Oh,
you know how I love to pay for these articles.
Yep.
There's a couple of things. First of all, out there, what would you give the Padres off-season? The whole off-season, taking everything into account. You got to take everything into account. Players they did get, players they didn't get. players they lost from last year. How about taking this into account, Skraby? How much money more your salary is this year than it was last year. The Padres are paying like $38 million more in salary this year than they did last year.
Yep.
Despite losing a bunch of players.
And quote unquote, not spending or cutting payroll.
Yeah.
Which they didn't really do.
So, with all of that in mind, the Padres got, what would you give them? I'll get your grade. A through F, obviously. What are you giving? What are you getting?
You know, the Nick Pivetta signing, for some reason, has swung it so much higher.
That certainly helped.
I would say right now, I would give him a C+.
C+ for you.
Yes.
ESPN went D. Straight up D.
Interesting. Why D? What's the reasoning?
Well, and it's funny. They mentioned that the Nick Pivetta signing actually made it better from
an F,
brought them out of even a deeper hole.
I mean, I think a lot of people are not recognizing the fact that the Padres already have all these guys in place, so they didn't need to go out and sign a Manny Machado in the offseason.
I know, but that doesn't go into your off season. Your off season does not include the players that are coming back from a year ago.
Yeah, but
your
that changes the goals for each team.
Your off season is what changed. Here's the reason that they got a D. It's not because they only signed Nick Pivetta, Jason Hayward, and Connor Joe. I think it's more because they have to try to replace Jerkson Profar, Hassan Kim, Tanner Scott, Donovan Solano, Kyle Higashioka, David Peralta, and Martin Perez. And you combine all of that with your payroll going up $38 million. That, my friends, is not the world's greatest offseason. Add to the fact that Joe Musgrove is out for the season, and that's another ding on the comparison from the end of last year to where you are now. Now, this doesn't mean the Padres can't go out and win 89 games again. This just means that that's, what people are thinking. And I don't think they're that far off.
I'm a little annoyed by the rating. I don't think it's a D. C-, yes, not a D.
A straight up D, not even D+. And here's the one last thing, and then we're going to take a break, and then I'm going to tell you why this doesn't matter as much as it may seem like, and it doesn't hurt as much.
Okay.
But here's where it hurts. The Diamondbacks got an A-, and the Dodgers got an A+. That's what makes the D like in bold lettering.
I can't argue that.
That's what makes the D in bold lettering. The two teams you're competing most with, both went crazy.
And then what did the Giants get? Maybe a B?
They're in the C range.
Really?
Giants were in the C.
Like
It makes C- for the Giants.
Interesting. But yeah, you're right. That is
not only
dangerous.
Not only did the Padres build their offseason around getting Roki Sasaki, and you can't argue that that's not what they did.
I'm not
That
arguing.
was the whole offseason. Roki Sasaki or bust. Not only did they not get him, but the Dodgers did. I think the D fits. I hate to tell you, Skrabe. All right, we start off with bad news, but we'll have good news on the Padres when we come back. Gwynn and Chris is underway. Tony will join us in a little while. Stick around as we get ready to roll for the next 4 hours on San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan. Hello, Tony Gwynn Jr. is down in Peoria. He's got the ball game going on right now. Padres and Giants. Still 1-1, Skraby? That's what I had a moment ago.
My app gets all weird because it said it was bottom of the 7th and it went back to bottom of the 5th. Now it's 1-1 in the middle of the 9th.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Your app is going crazy here.
These games have gone so quick in spring training.
This one has buzzed along. Nick Pivetta pitched really well here. 2 2/3 innings, struck out 4, and he struck out the side in the first inning. So the good start for him. Jason Adam. Yeah, I don't want to trade Suarez. I really don't. But I think the team could get a whole lot better if they could find a taker for Suarez. And the only reason I say it is because Jason Adam is just so automatic that I really wouldn't mind making him the closer. It wouldn't bother me. 1 inning, 2 strikeouts today. You know that the Jason Adam was in like 20-something games last year for the Padres. He only gave up a run in 3 of them. He had 12 holds. He had 1 time where he gave a lead away, but the Padres ended up winning that game anyway. He had a 1.01 ERA. He had listen to this, a 0.78 whip, not 0.9, not 0.8, 0.78. The guy basically is unhittable. He did give up 1 home run in his whole time with the Padres. Mark Vientos of the Mets got him. Padres won that game also. He was not involved in anything bad that happened to the Padres the entire time he was here. And, I just think there's, the most automatic 3 outs in any game are the ones that Jason Adam gets. So
from what we've seen, yeah,
I would be willing, I'm not excited about trading Suarez, but I'd be willing to look at it. We still, DH is not set. Left field is still up for grabs. Good news about left field is that those who gave the Padres a D in the offseason are not really seeing all of these guys that are competing for left field right now.
Yeah.
Are any of them doing badly? I mean, Ornelas is hitting .471.
I think he had a hit today too.
His 8th hit of the spring and another walk today.
That's huge.
Oscar Gonzalez is hitting over .350. Brandon Lockridge is hitting over .300, stole 2 bases today.
Wow.
I haven't, he doesn't get a mention very often.
He doesn't.
But Brandon Lockridge is on this team. He's a holdover from last year's squad. We've seen, good things from Eggy and from Forrest Wall. And none of those names even include the 2 guys that are supposed to play left field, Jason Hayward and Connor Joe. So they really have a lot of choices here. One of them is going to pan out. And the other reason that the offseason grade is overrated is because of what you said when we were talking about it. You hit on something. You didn't even know you hit on it.
Oh, I did.
What was it?
They've already got their guys in place.
You did. That's right. And you knew what it was.
The
Padres already have 6 star players locked in. They didn't need a lot of stuff. I know you all wanted them to get 3 more all-stars.
I was hoping for Bryce Harper to come on over.
Sure. Well, I don't even know if he was a free agent.
He wasn't. He definitely wasn't.
When you've got Arise and you've got Tatis and Merrill and Machado and Cronenworth and Bogarts, those 6 guys are your team anyway. That's your team. Those are the guys that you're gonna live and die with. Those 6. If they don't do the job, then you're not going to do the job. And if they do what we think they can do, then you're going to, if Arise wins the batting title again, if Fernando challenges for MVP, if Jackson Merrill somehow takes a step forward in his sophomore season, Manny does Manny, Cronenworth and Bogarts, a little closer to Cronenworth and Bogarts, what happens in left field is hardly going to matter.
It's 1 spot. And I'm not worried about anybody defensively in left field. It's just about what they're going to produce at the plate.
Well, Tirso, is a big lumbering guy, but Tony loves his speed.
Yeah, loves it.
Says he's got a little more maneuverability than we think, but I don't know that he comes into it as, a gold glover.
He's not a late game defensive specialist.
I don't think they'll bring him in for late game defense. No.
What about, so why not Why not
And don't
switch
for-
your focus to
and-
finding where you are at the trade deadline and reassess? Because you have a pretty good squad heading into the season.
I think you might. You might have a little better squad than people think you do.
Yeah.
And that includes some of your own fans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after all, Campusano makes the all-star team. That's 7 all-stars. Don't forget about that.
I haven't, Chris.
I know.
I haven't.
Meanwhile, I keep looking for Campusano to do anything in the spring training, and I've not really seen a whole lot
He
yet.
got banished to the away game today.
Right, he got banished to the away game today. Martin Maldonado started the A squad game. So here's one guy that really can make a difference, though, and we know this. And he's making way too much money to not finally make a difference, and that's Xander Bogaerts.
Has to.
Sitting 200, he struck out twice today, so it's all over, right? Manny Machado doesn't agree with you out there. If you think that Xander Bogaerts is washed, I think that's the word that the kids use these days, Skraby. He's washed.
Yeah, that is the word.
Thank you. Manny Machado does not think so. He is expecting bounce back season from Xander. Here's Manny.
Absolutely. I mean, what we did last year as an
I should say he starts by talking about going for the division.
Right. Okay.
organization, as a team, you know, a lot of people didn't expect that from us, and you know, we overcame a lot of things, a lot of adversities, and built something pretty special here. And you know, coming into the season, man, we got the same squad going out. Obviously, we're missing some pieces that left, but you know, with the team that we got in there, man, we're ready to compete. We're ready to do, you know, handle the unfinished business that we have.
You know, you played 150 plus games last year. It's funny because you haven't had a full spring training in quite some time, and everybody thinks that just because you played 150 games last year, you were healthy. What was that like last year, and then obviously coming into spring training this year fully healthy?
Yeah, rehab, man. Like all last year was just straight rehab. You know, kind of not having your normal off-season routine of working out, bulking up, getting ready for a long season. I think the main part, you know, and you know this, it's you know, you want to bulk up in the off-season so that you can withstand those 150 games, 162 games. You know, because in the season there's a lot of ups and downs. So, you know, not having that last year was kind of tough, you know, battling the rehab, kind of, you know, ups and downs of pains here and there on the elbow, couldn't really do a lot of things. So, you know, to have a good offseason this year, normal, kind of getting into a normal spring training and go out there, you know, be with the team on team fundamental stuff. It's been fun to do it. And I think, you know, it's always a special way when you have a healthy spring.
I look at this roster, a bunch of special players all around, but what's going to be the key to this year's team?
Biggest thing is, man, just keep playing as a team. You know, I think it's if we handle the baseball, we handle the team defense, team baseball like we did last year. You know, moving guys over. You know, I think the biggest key for us, I think offensively, I think we're gonna have a good year, right? We have Toddy come back healthy. Myself, Bogey's gonna have a big year. Jackson, obviously, we're gonna you know, lead with him as well. But I think defense is gonna be the key for us. We, with our pitching staff, how we pitch, you know, use Petco to our advantage. You know, we clean up that defense and we become a top defensive team. I think you know, that's gonna take us a long way.
Thank you, Alex Rodriguez, for those insightful questions. To Manny Machado.
It was Yonder Alonso.
Oh, it was Yonder.
Yeah, I thought you were joking for a second.
I thought A-Rod was in on that.
No, that was Yonder.
That was all Yonder.
Alonso.
All
Yes.
Yonder all the time.
Yes.
All
I
right.
believe that Xander Bogaerts is going to have a big year. Am I a sucker, Chris?
Maybe.
I kind of felt like that was the answer.
It's just hard it's hard to expect that he's just going to break out and just all of a sudden finally
It's there.
recapture it. We know it's been there.
He was hurt last year. I'm willing to make
But
that
that
excuse
wrist is
until
never
the
that
sun
wrist
goes
is
down.
just never getting
That's what I'm
healthy. That's the other thing that worries
The
me.
wrist, that's what Rob Bradford told us when we asked him about Xander Bogaerts,
I know.
a Red Sox reporter. He said that wrist has been bothering
It's
him
been
for
bugging
years.
him since he's been swinging for the Green Monster.
The monster.
Yeah. All right. More Padre talk coming up, and more Gwynn and Chris coming up.
Rate the radio call, Chris? Do we
Is it
want to?
possible?
I think so.
Stick around, find out.
Gwynn and
Peoria. It's all over.
It's all over.
Giants Padres skate to a 1-1 tie.
Oh, I can't do this tie stuff, Chris.
Spring training. They don't want to go extra innings. Don't want to use any extra pitching.
I guess that's fine with me.
Yuki Matsui was the only Padre to give up a run today. And Nick Pivetta started this game 2 2/3 innings. No hits, 1 walk, struck out 4. Good to see. Jason Adam had a perfect frame as well. The only run for the Padres was driven in by somebody I have to look up. Marcos Castañon.
There were some names that I have never seen.
Don't know him
today.
Don't know him. He drove in the only run. The other game today, Cubs 16, Padres nothing.
It got worse.
16-0. Padres, let's see. Waldron gave up 4 runs. Brito gave up 2. And then a bunch of guys we don't know gave up the rest. So, again, take it all with a grain of salt. But 16-0 doesn't sound great.
No.
Shota Imanaga started this game for the Cubs. 4 innings, 2 hits, struck out 3. Padres have 4 hits in that game. Connor Joe has 1 of them. Anyway, you're up to date.
That's a bad day at the yard.
Bad day. Padres are going to go to 3-8 in spring training.
3-8-1, right? I mean,
yeah,
what
but they don't
counts?
even
The split squad, or
they don't even. No, they both count, but they don't
Oh.
count a tie. The tie just doesn't get recorded on your record. So
it's
you
the biggest, like, who cares in sports?
Yeah, they just don't care. Well, the whole thing is a who cares.
Oh, I know.
Difference does it make.
You know what? I was talking to Archie Cianfrocco on
Former
Friday
Padre.
night at Rancho Penasquitos Little League.
Okay.
And I asked him, do you think that spring training doesn't matter? And he told me, depends on who you're asking, because for him, spring training mattered a lot.
Of course, it matters to the individual players a ton.
Yeah.
Means everything. These guys are fighting for jobs. But the actual results of the games mean absolutely nothing. I will still add, though, that only the Guardians and White Sox have a worse record
Yeah, see, you're still
than
checking.
the Padres.
You're still checking.
Just saying.
I'm fine if they tank the Cactus League because, like you said, a few years ago they won the Cactus League and it was a terrible season.
It doesn't mean anything. Dodgers are 6-6. They're just going along 500.
Oh, guess what, Chris? Tonight, Roki Sasaki.
He'll be on the mound for the first time in a spring training game. If you must watch and boo him from your living room, 5 o'clock on MLB TV.
Oh, I will be watching.
You will? Really?
Oh, yeah.
Dodgers and Reds. Sasaki's not suspected to start the game.
No, he's coming in. They say Yamamoto's supposed to go 4. Sasaki's supposed to go 3. So it's very
well, they have to build these guys up.
optimistic.
After all, they're the 2 starters a week from now.
That's a good point. Wait, a week from
2
now?
weeks from now
I
in
was gonna
Korea.
say, jeez.
Yeah, it's coming up.
In Japan.
Japan. Right. Padres were in Korea last year.
Correct.
All right. Aztecs are in Las Vegas tonight. We will talk a little bit more about this game, but suffice to say, Aztecs, God, you know, the bubble thing still is there. You know, they're not off the bubble yet. Can they lose this game and still make the NCAA tournament? Yes. It's not going to look great, though, to lose a pair to UNLV.
Mm-hmm.
And UNLV beat them the first time. Aztecs will have to get it done again without Magoon Guath. Brian Dutcher said very doubtful he plays tonight. Also very doubtful he plays in the regular season finale against Nevada this weekend.
I mean, at this point, just get him ready for
They just want to get him ready for the conference tournament. And if not that, the NCAA tournament. But Aztecs are still on the list of teams that have some work to do. And I think the work they have to do is they can't stub their toes against both UNLV and Nevada this week. They've got to win 1, hopefully 2, so they don't have to worry about it.
I feel like they figured something out recently.
Playing well. They're not playing the best competition in the well, I don't know. They beat New Mexico last week. They did that without Guath. They won at Wyoming. And I know everybody says, well, you only won by 3. Doesn't matter, man. Wyoming is so tough. Did you hear Dutcher said after the game?
No.
He said, I have to come up here one more time next year, and then we're in the Pac-12.
And I never come
and
back.
I'm never coming back here again.
Well, it's a really hard place to get to.
Yes, there's 2 things. You have to take a charter flight in there. There's no airport anywhere, within 100 miles, except for the little airstrip they have outside of town.
Yes.
And, the weather's horrible, and the arena's not pressurized, as Smokey Gaines once said.
I wish they could pressurize the arena. That would be awesome.
I just loved it when Kansas went to BYU and Utah and got run out both games. They asked the kids about it, and the altitude won't matter. They don't get it. It matters. And BYU and Utah are nowhere near what Wyoming is. I know Duke would beat Wyoming. I get it. I know Auburn and Alabama, they'd win. They wouldn't win as easily as you think they would. The
conditions would make them struggle.
They just wouldn't win as easily as you think they would.
It's a little bit different when you're playing in North Carolina versus 7,000 feet in Laramie, Wyoming.
It's a factor.
The Dome of Doom. It's called the Dome of Doom for a reason.
The Dome of Doom.
Love that.
By the way, the officials the other day called 3 technical fouls in 17 seconds. Okay. I mean, these Mountain West officials just continue to be laughable. Just out and out laughable. And
did Dutcher say that too? Like, I only have a couple more games and then we're in the Pac-12.
Well, I don't know if that's going to matter. All of the good officials are now gone to the Midwest with the Big Ten and the Big 12. There's just not good officials left. I guess one of the officials the other day in Laramie was actually a Division II ref, had not reffed this Division I game all year.
Ooh.
The other guy was a part-time West Coast official, part-time Big Ten, but he hadn't been chosen for a Big Ten game all year. So that's what the Big Ten thinks of him. Okay. Those were 2 of the officials that called all 3 of the technical fouls.
All right.
It's bad, man. I can't believe these guys are so bad.
But you just have to get out there.
You have to overcome that too.
you need to get out there, Chris.
I don't need to get out there.
I would love to see you referee a game between.
Do you have any idea the
Nevada
criticism? I know. Do you have any ideas of the criticism that would be levied against me if any of our listeners watched me ref a game? Oh my goodness!
Why would they criticize you?
Because it's just easy to criticize basketball refs. You never can get a call right.
Oh, Steve Kerr criticized the basketball refs last night. We'll hear about that in the Big 5.
Yes, we will. Right now, though, we're going to hear from an oldie but a goodie. Rate the radio call.
From the really, really good.
Back to the wall. It's gone. Home run derby, and there will be tomorrow.
To the really, really bad.
Wide open. He throws. It's caught. Nixon streaking down the sideline to the 20. Gets a block
baby,
from Chase and runs it into the end.
We got some radio calls. Gwynn and Chris are going to rate them.
The right-handed hitter back in there. Strasburg ready to go.
It's Rate the Radio Call.
The 1-2 pitch slider. Strike 3 called. A no-hitter.
On 97.3 The Fan.
Wow. I missed Tom Lapham, Chris. I missed him.
The Bengals color guy. Hey, there he goes. Look out. Hey.
And the other guy's just trying to do the call.
Trying to call the game.
He's like, he throws his guy.
I think it's Dave Lapham.
Dave Lapham, you're right.
Let's
I should get it right.
Recognize him correctly there.
Absolutely. So
all right.
I actually didn't know we were going to do this until I was driving down here today and decided
then it just kind of had
time.
A wild hair, huh?
Yeah, it's time.
Right.
So I went through our highlight service and listened to probably 100 highlights, and these are some of the best ones that we have.
There was a lot of good action over the weekend. I mean, we had buzzer beaters. Did you see the Tennessee-Alabama game? The guy hit the three-quarter court at the buzzer.
I believe we have that one.
Yeah, it might be have that one. I mean, there was a lot of really exciting games this week.
There were. Tennessee, was it Mashak who made the winning?
It was against Alabama, so I don't know the guy's name.
All right, this came from, I'm pretty sure, because they don't tell me who they're playing or anything. They just tell me what happened, but this is a 79-76, so.
Yeah.
All right, this is it. All right, so Tennessee game tied 76-76 with Alabama. This is Tennessee Radio Network.
Oh, God, these guys probably went crazy.
Mashak's going to take it. 2 seconds. Mashak, 1 second. Launches the three-point shot. Gone! At the buzzer. Mashak wins it for Tennessee. With 3.8 seconds to go, Tennessee brings it up the floor. And Jamar Mashak hits the biggest three-point shot in his career.
Hold on, I need to hear this beginning again.
Mashak's going to take it. 2 seconds. Mashak, 1 second. Launches the three-point shot. Gone!
All right. Chris, 1 to 10, rate that radio call.
2. He missed the fact that it was a half-court shot.
I know.
It wasn't just a three-point shot.
No. I would have never known.
Beyond the line.
Maybe
like
they said it later, but can't say it later.
This got to be a half-court shot. You got to let me know.
Yeah.
He didn't run up to the three-point line and just fire it.
He wasn't sitting in the corner.
Sounds like it.
It does. It does. That's why I went back and listened to make sure I heard what I heard.
No good.
You're going to give him a 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to give
describe it even remotely right.
If you're a radio guy and you make a half-court shot to win the game, you better include that in your call. I'm going to give him a 2 as well. I was going to give him a 4 because the color commentator waited until after the play to do the hey money type of thing, which
he did
is always
do that.
fun.
Yeah.
But you're right. I was like, what in the heck? He didn't say the best part about the entire play. So I'm going to give him a 2 as well. Oof.
Poor
Sorry
performance. Poor performance. Gotta tell me that. Gotta tell me that it's half court. Won the game. It was incredible.
That was incredible. You're right.
Ah.
All right, next one. We're gonna go to baseball real quick.
Okay.
Juan Soto, first at bat with the Mets, hit a big old home run in spring training. First at bat. Here is what the Mets or how Mets radio sounded like for that.
And now the 2-1 to Soto, hit in the air to deep center field. Back goes Leon onto the track. It is gone.
All right, I'm at first. 1 to 10. Rate that radio call. I'm going to give him an 8 because that's a regular season call in spring training, Chris. The gone at the end is
track. It is gone.
It's a meaningless home run that means so much to that guy. So I'm going to give him an 8. He also told me
2-1 to Soto, hit in the air to deep center field.
Deep center field. He gave me everything, Chris. 8.
It's Gary Cohen.
I couldn't tell. I didn't.
It is. And he's one of the best announcers in baseball.
Yeah.
Like the minimum Gary Cohen can get is a 10.
No, you could give him an 8.
Yeah, but I can't because that was perfect.
That was perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew his voice. I didn't.
He's so good.
Connect it.
What he does is play it again because this sounds so easy for him.
And now the 2-1 to Soto, hit in the air to deep center field. Back goes Leon onto the track. It is gone.
There's so much going on in that 7 seconds of call.
But you can picture that play. Can you not picture the ball sailing out toward the center field fence?
Him going back?
Can the guy going back and the ball disappearing? I mean, that's exactly what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what radio is, theater of the mind.
Yeah.
And you should be describing what's happening, so that my mind sees what's actually happening. That's what that call did. And it didn't take any extra stuff. It didn't need any, go, look out, get on your horse, come on. It didn't need any of that crap, didn't need any, no, just straight up, 2-1 pitch, it's hit well, it's out there, it's way back, center field, it's gone, man, perfect. And you're right, it's spring training, no need to lose your mind.
No, and, that's more difficult than people think it is because he's in spring training. We don't know what inning this occurred in. It occurred earlier in the game, actually, but he has to know who the center fielder is to make it so smooth. He has to know all of it.
He had that easily.
All right.
Center fielder right on it.
All right. I gave him an 8. Chris gave him a 10. Let's go to a Texas A&M game. And this game, actually, is it Texas Tech I wanted to do? Yes, Texas Tech. This is the most recent game. But Texas Tech was tied 73-73. Here is Texas Tech radio calling the shot.
Christian Anderson. They double it. Darian Williams for 3. Bang!
Clutch Gene gets him every time.
76-73. One more time.
Christian Anderson. They double it. Darian Williams for 3. Bang!
Clutch Gene gets him every time.
Chris, 1 to 10.
Well, it's hard to say because it's not. There's no
lead up.
Well, there's no context there. I couldn't tell if it was the end of the game or if it was 5 minutes to go in the game. I know for a fact, having seen the highlight, that shot won the game for Texas Tech at Kansas, and it's only the second time in the history of the school that Texas Tech has won at Kansas.
So it's a much bigger deal than he's leading on.
I thought it was a little bigger deal than he made it sound. Now, what I don't remember is maybe there was 5-6 seconds left and Kansas was going to take a timeout and have a chance, but I don't remember them having that. I remember that shot winning the game, a three-pointer, pretty close to the buzzer.
It was the final score was 78-73.
So they got it back and fouled him.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to give it a 7 then. I think it's hard to do without the context, though. I think a little more would have been in order there. That with 5 or 6 seconds left, he just put them ahead at Kansas, where they've never have hardly ever won.
Yeah.
That's all. I would have given that a little more oomph.
I'm going to give it a 5. He didn't tell me where he was on the floor.
Yeah.
He didn't tell me that at all.
Oh, you learned that from me.
I did learn that from you.
Yeah, he didn't tell us where he was on the floor, Chris, at all.
I rate the radio call all the time in my car driving places, and a lot of the time they didn't tell me where they were. It didn't tell me where they were at all, so I'm going to give it a 5. All right.
Let me hear it one more time, because you're right. You can't see. Just compare the home run you heard to the theater of the mind of this, where you don't know where on the floor the guy is.
Christian Anderson. They double him. Darian Williams for 3. Bang!
And the bang was a little too much, too.
Yeah, well, he could have been anywhere. He could have been in the right corner, left corner, at the top of the key.
Yeah, maybe they announced it when they passed the ball to him. Oh, ball's over to him in the corner. I don't know.
I didn't hear it.
But I didn't
hear any location, which means my mind can't picture it.
I'm going to give him a 5. All right, here's a hockey call, and then we have 2 more. Here's a hockey call. This is the Avalanche, and this is from weeks ago. So this is one of those ones that I was searching for something to rate, but it's the Avalanche. The game is tied 4-4.
Down to the corner, Miller. Up top for Borgen. Cale Makar out of the penalty box, takes it away. Avs have something here. 3-on-1, Makar over for Lehkonen. He scores! 14.7 seconds to go in the third period, and we're all up all day to get lucky. Goals in back-to-back games. He's set up by Cale Makar, who had a goal taken away earlier in the period. Arturi Lehkonen does not miss. And the Big Apple is Heartbreak City.
All right, I'm up first on this one. That's a 10. He answered everything I needed in there. He answered how much time was left, who assisted the play, got Heartbreak City in there. I'm giving that a 10. Energy was amazing.
You just gave a low grade because you didn't know where the play was, and I invite you to listen to that again.
All right.
He made a pass, but I don't know where the pass was to.
Let me see.
It was a 3-on-1, but I don't know where the pass came from or where it went to.
Down to the corner, Miller.
Corner.
No.
Down to the corner, Miller. Up top for Borgen. Cale Makar out of the penalty box, takes it away. Avs have something here. 3-on-1, Makar over for Lehkonen. He scores!
I guess.
Over for Lehkonen. That's all I got. Could have been anywhere.
All right, I'm going because you can't. All right, I felt like I kind of knew, but you're right. He didn't say it technically. I'm going to give him a 7.
Okay, I'll give him a 6.5. I'm downgrading him for saying that it's what was his catchphrase there? It was a song line.
I know. Here it is.
We're up all night to get lucky.
Yeah, we're up all night. Oh, that's a song.
That's a
Pharrell song.
Was Daft Punk.
Daft Punk and Pharrell. Yes, that was dorky.
Can't give him that. I got to take away for we're up all night to get lucky. Okay, great for you.
That is pretty dorky.
I don't know what the hell you even mean with that. Seriously.
Yeah, I don't know either. I guess because you're in New York. I don't know.
Excitement was good.
Yeah,
he cracked his voice, which is hard to do, and then keep the call going.
I want to replay that.
Play that score. That's hard to do.
All right, he's laying it all out with his voice.
He laid it all out there for us.
All right, here's the final one. This guy's a legend, so maybe it's just us listening to it. But here's a Bob Uecker call of a 3-run home run.
Swinging a fly ball to left and deep. Hey, get up! Get up! Get out of here! Gone for Carlos Lee. And the Brewers lead 3-0.
Very good. Bob
It was a
Uecker
really
is the
good call.
man. Well, he had a nice
His voice was perfect.
he had a nice smooth delivery there. Look, that was his signature. Was get up, get on out of here. And I think that, part of that is the fact that it made it sound like it was kind of easy. Carlos Lee, nickname El Caballo.
Oh.
Going deep there for the Brew Crew back in the day. That's circa 2005.
I was going to say, when did that happen?
Carlos Lee only played for the Brewers 1 year, 2005.
Well, then you know it.
Very good.
10 for Bob Uecker.
10 indeed. There's somebody that's tweeting out every day till the season starts or something that a Bob Uecker clip from Johnny Carson show or something like that.
No.
And every one of them is funny. He tweets it out every day.
It's a lot of work on that.
So, a lot of work, but honors Bob Uecker. All right, we'll honor the Daily Gambit. Tony should be with us in this next 3 o'clock hour. Stick around for more Gwynn and Chris. Hey, guys. Padres B squad. I'm going to call them the B squad today, Skrabe. Sorry. I know they weren't, intended necessarily to be the B squad. Split squad. Yeah, 2 games today. But I'm calling them the B squad.
Why? Because they lost?
They didn't lose. The Cubs beat the Padres in the split squad game. Well, it's not quite over. 2 outs, top of the 9th, 16-1.
Oh, wow.
Padres got on the board on a RBI single by Jack Costello. I think that's the guy that played for USD.
Jack Costello?
Yes. If I'm not mistaken.
Let me see.
He's from Thousand Oaks, California. I don't know where he went to school based on
You're
this
right.
bio.
USD?
Yeah.
Selected in the 10th round of last year's draft.
He hammers the ball. Or, last year for USD, he was incredible. This was his first at bat of the spring, and he got an RBI single.
All right.
So good for Jack.
Yeah.
But that's the only good thing that happened in that game. 16-1 Cubs. Game is now over. Final.
It's all over.
The other game, the one that Tony broadcast, fortunately for Tony, right? He didn't have to do this one.
True.
He did Giants Padres. They skated to a 1-1 tie. I can't say it any other way because baseball, you're not supposed to have ties, but there was a tie. Was the thing there. So we'll talk more about the Padres and what they did today. Tony should be joining us from Peoria soon. He's got to get back to the Tony Gwynn Palace.
Yes, of course. With the 4 doors.
With all the doors behind him, he's got to choose the right door to enter the room from.
Yeah, or else he's ending up in Narnia somewhere.
The Chronicles of Narnia get a mention, huh?
Yeah. Don't you go through a closet door to get to Narnia?
I don't know what you do to get to Narnia.
I think you go through a closet door. I'm not sure, though.
Skrabe, I don't have the read necessary.
At the top
here
of
it is.
2 p.m.
Yes. All right, here we go. Pay attention because I just
fix your camera real quick.
Did my best to find this. There I am on camera saying it. At some point during this show, we're on till 6 o'clock. You're going to have a chance to win 2 tickets to Kane Brown at Pechanga Arena. It's coming up on March 13th. Now, limited tickets remain at axis.com. That's AXS.com. Kane Brown. Tickets coming your way. What you do between now and the end of the show is you listen for this sounder.
I'm a big fan of this song.
I want to hear a little more. Kane sounds good.
Can't. We'll have to pay
That's
him
all
for
I
it.
get?
We'll have to pay him for it.
Oh, all right. Kane, thank you very much. When you hear that sounder again, 833-288-0973. Get yourself in. Get yourself some Kane Brown tickets.
That was not it. This is not it. The next time you hear it will be it. This one I'm about to play so you can get another listen is not the cue.
Put some miles on it. That good a Chevy with the engine running.
All right.
Very good. Coming up shortly, the Padres have unknowingly just acquired Puerto Rican rapper Bad Bunny.
Oh.
I'll explain how in a little bit. But right now, we get to today's Daily Gambit. Let's go.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Tyler says it's through the back of the wardrobe, Skraby. And then Dennis says, isn't Narnia through the cupboard? Cupboard?
Cupboard? No, it's cupboard. Cupboard is spelled cupboard.
It is.
But it is actually cupboard.
No, I don't think you go through the cupboard to get to Narnia, okay? But anyway, let's get into some of the bets that we made yesterday. I don't know why I was so upset. And I'm very proud of everyone out there for not calling when I played it for the second time for the Kane Brown tickets. That will happen, but thank you everyone for listening.
Okay.
UCLA -3.5 at Northwestern. Last night, you guys chose Northwestern. I chose UCLA. UCLA wins 73-69, so they barely get there, but they cover.
They covered, but they hung on. They were up by 14 with 3 minutes to go and only won by 4.
Ooh.
Northwestern made a wild comeback. I can only imagine had they completed that comeback, what Mick Cronin's reaction would have been. He probably was,
I almost wish it would have happened.
Yeah, he was probably ticked off that they blew most of the lead anyway.
You're delusional.
We're idiots. Our kids are idiots. The coaches suck.
He's going to go back to that.
I mean, come on, Nick.
He's like, it worked for 7 games. I'll do it again.
I can't believe it's kind of worked for him. Go ahead.
Sometimes motivation comes in weird ways.
True.
Kansas at Houston. Houston -9.5 on this one. Chris and Tony chose Houston. I chose Kansas. Houston won, but they only won by 6, 65-59.
Yeah, I don't know how long we have to put up with Kansas as a top team.
They've lost so many games lately.
They're 10-9 in their own conference. But I guarantee you there'll be at least a 6 or 7 seed in the NCAA tournament because they're Kansas. They've done nothing to deserve that as far as I can tell.
If they make the tournament.
They're in for sure. It's not even a question.
For sure.
For sure.
They're not a good team.
They're Kansas.
They're Kansas. That's all you need to say.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Houston Rockets at Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City 11-point favorites in this game. You chose OKC, Tony, and I chose Houston. And even with an SGA 50-pointer, they did, or 50 piece, they did not cover because they won 137-128.
Yeah.
So
Agreed. I lost on the spread there.
Steph or LaMelo? Who had more points last night? Chris said LaMelo. Tony and I said Steph. Steph had 21. LaMelo had 25.
Winner.
I lose, you win. Kings -1.5 on the puck line at the Blackhawks last night. We all took the Blackhawks for some reason. And
we knew.
Yeah, we did know because the Blackhawks won really, really comfortably, 5-1.
It was probably the best game the Blackhawks have played this entire season.
I'm glad we picked that one.
Yeah.
Florida against Tampa Bay. Florida was -1.5 on the puck line. You guys chose Flaw. I chose Tampa Bay. Flaw won 2-1, but Tampa Bay covered.
Yeah, that ended Tampa Bay's 8-game winning streak, but not enough to cover the spread.
Yeah.
All right, good night for you. You were 5-1.
I love it.
Won't give Tony and I's results. Let's get to tonight. Aztecs are at UNLV. Men's basketball. Kind of a must-win again. And again, the Aztecs, they only favored by 2.5 points.
This is
not a gimme.
This is good for them.
This is not a gimme.
Playing playoff basketball basically for the rest of the year is good for them.
It's good unless you lose and don't get into the tournament.
That is true.
I'll take the Aztecs. They have to cover. They can't afford to, win by 1 point here. They got to win by 3 at least, please.
I think I figured them out, or they figured themselves out. Aztecs.
New Mexico's favored by 1 at Nevada. That's how tough this conference is. New Mexico is running away with the conference. One more win, and they clinch it. Nevada is currently in 7th place at 8-10, but the odds are just 1 point because you're on the road. Who do you want here?
New Mexico.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm taking Nevada. We need New Mexico to lose. The Aztecs cannot get the number 1 seed in the conference tournament, but if New Mexico loses out and the Aztecs win out, the Aztecs could get a share of the conference title. Auburn on the road, 4.5 over Texas A&M. Auburn's number 1 in the nation. Keeps on crushing everybody. Texas A&M has lost 4 in a row, but is still ranked. Tells you all you need to know about the Southeastern Conference. I'll take Texas A&M. They've bounced back. I picked against Auburn so many times, and they have burned me every time.
I've picked with Auburn so many times, and they have not burned me every time.
Yeah, you taking Auburn?
Yes.
All right. San Diego State women get on the odds today.
Okay.
They're playing their final home game of the year against Fresno State. Aztec women are favored by 9.5 in this game. It's the final home game for 5 seniors. That's kind of what I look at tonight because I know these kids and have watched them play here for all this time. And, so it'll be an emotional evening, your final home game. especially I think on the women's side, just a tad more than on the men's side. Although there are more opportunities for women to play at the next level now than there ever was before. But,
true.
You put 4 or 5 years into it, your final home game.
Totally.
That's a thing.
It's a big deal.
All right. Aztecs beat Fresno in Fresno by 4 the first time around, Skrabe. Favored by 9.5.
I feel you've convinced me with the final home game thing. I'm going to go Aztecs.
Aztecs. Well, I have to. I should probably
not bet,
not wager since I'm calling the game. But what the hell? I'll take the Aztecs. But 9.5 is going to be tough because the Aztecs don't have a lot to play for. They're already in the 4-5 matchup in the tournament next week.
They have to win on their final home game.
But they'd like to win their final game. Yes. Lakers by 9 over the Pels tonight. Lakers are just rolling 6 in a row. I'll take the Lakers.
I'll take the Lakers too.
At home. Is it Doncic -3 points, rebounds, plus assists?
Okay. All right.
Doncic -3 or LeBron?
Ooh.
Points, rebounds, and assists. Who do you like here?
I mean, LeBron he's been incredible.
I know he's playing some of the best basketball of his life.
I'm gonna go with LeBron because he gets 3.
Yeah, Doncic gets points and assists, not necessarily rebounds. I'll take LeBron here also. Knicks are playing the Warriors tonight. You got Brunson plus Cat, 7.5 over Curry plus Jimmy Butler.
Brunson
points
plus
scored only.
Cat points.
Right.
-7.5.
Right. And
then
you got Curry and Butler.
I honestly do not know what Jimmy Butler has been doing for the Warriors.
He's been scoring about 15, 16 a game, but not overdoing it.
It's back-to-back nights for the Warriors.
I think Brunson and Towns. That's a lot to give, but I'll take them.
All right, I'll go the other way.
You're going to take Steph.
Yep. Steph the chef.
Steph and Butler. One more hockey. What team has the best record in the NHL? Skraby? Got it?
The
Did
Oilers.
you just make that voice? Did you make that sound? That sound?
A raspberry, yes.
Careful. Yeah, great.
Is it the Oilers?
It is the Winnipeg Jets.
Jets, Jets.
They have the best record in the league. They're on the road at the Islanders tonight. Islanders are about 500. Jets by 1.5 on the road. I go first. Jets have lost 2 in a row. They got to win this one. Jets. Jets.
I'll go Islanders.
Isles. Okay, Tony should be joining us shortly.
Cat ruled out for tonight, apparently.
Oh, you just got that news?
Yes, thank you.
All right, that bet's off the table then. I just crossed it out.
You want to give you another player to combine with?
No, we just won't do that one.
Okay, I'll delete that from the mix.
Delete that from the record. Thank you very much for the update. Tony, I believe, is pretty close.
He will be here by Fantabulous, for sure.
For sure. We got one more segment before that. We got traffic before that.
From the 8-5.
Tony Gwynn Jr. just about set. Kind of grabbing a little bite to eat. He'll be joining us in a moment here from his door-filled palace.
You can call him
in Peoria.
Bite to eat if you want, Chris.
I am. Okay. He's going to be on shortly. Padres split squad action today. First game 1-1. Second game 1-16. Yeah, that one didn't go so well against the Cubs. We'll have Tony joining us and a little Padre update from him in a moment. Do you know what's happening in 3.5? It's still a little ways off, but I'm surprised. Yeah, opening day, not only of baseball, but opening day of the United Football League. I got to say, the UFL, which it's now called, used to be the XFL and the USFL. Now they're together, and it's one thing. It's the UFL. Can you imagine having your opening game basically the same night as the Major League Baseball season starts? That doesn't sound like a brilliant idea, but
no,
I guess that, what do I know?
I mean,
did you know that the UFL is not going to have the kickoff that they invented?
Really? What are they going to have?
A regular one.
They're going to go back. So they invented the dynamic kickoff.
The XFL invented the dynamic kickoff.
They did, yes.
Now that the leagues have merged, the UFL says, no, we're going to go back to the other one. Daryl Moose Johnston, former Cowboy, is the football operations chief of the UFL.
That does give it legitimacy because he's a very serious human.
Well, he says, quote, our doctors provided us with player safety data that was very similar, concluding that choosing one version over the other did not have a significant impact on player safety. That's his doctors who said that.
I know, I was going to say.
It's got to be more dangerous to run 50 yards at full speed ahead as it is running 12 yards.
I can totally see why the new kickoff will decrease injury rate because they're 5 yards apart from each other. They're going very slow when they hit each other.
It's just not the same collision, right?
No, but I'm going to watch now. Now I'm going to be like, some guy's going to get laid out on a kickoff, and it's going to cause this big controversy, Chris.
Daryl Johnson will be defending himself.
He's super serious, so I'm surprised that he went this.
Why in the world am I bringing that up? Because that's the football we have to deal with until, July.
See, I don't need football right now. I am ready for baseball.
Gotta have it.
I don't need football.
There's a couple of stories though. Devontae Adams has been released.
Stories. I don't need football.
No, I know. Devontae Adams has been released by the Jets.
So that worked out.
Jets.
Just as they planned.
Sam Darnold is going to be a free agent. Vikings chose not to pay him $40 million a year. I can't say I disagree. You thought they should pay. I think Tony said they should pay yesterday.
I did not think they should pay.
Oh, you were a no.
I was a no, but I've read that they're going to try to negotiate something else with him.
Right. Fair enough. I don't think he's $40 million.
I think, can't you sit down with him and be like, hey, we want you to be our starter next year, but you're not worth $40 million.
I think you can. Saquon Barkley just got a contract extension with the Eagles, makes him the highest paid running back ever. Listen to this, 2 years, $41 million. That means Saquon Barkley, who is the best player in the league practically, is making $20.5 million per year. I know quarterbacks are more important, but is Sam Darnold worth twice what Saquon Barkley is? I don't get that.
I don't think it is. I don't think he does. Yeah, I don't think Sam Darnold is.
Anyway. Those are a couple of NFL stories.
Chris,
quarterbacks make way too much money.
We're going to see a $70 million quarterback in the next 2-3 years.
Incredible.
$70 million a year quarterback. I mean,
well, we're up to 40. Right? Where's Dak? Or
Dak might be in the 60s.
Yeah, he's so high up there.
And I've been reading that Brock Purdy is a great dude, and he's not trying to break the record of highest paid quarterback in the league.
He's also not going to take below market value. And below market value is,
if he takes $45 million, are you surprised?
I don't know. The money is just so much. I just can't handle it. One other football note.
Sorry, Dak is making 47 this coming year.
Incredible.
Yeah.
How about winning a game somewhere along the line? Does that enter into it at all?
I don't think so, Chris.
God.
I don't think so.
One other story. I'm a little disappointed by this one, Skrabe, because there were some rumors out there that Hard Knocks, Hard Knocks is going to go away.
We have a Big Five question about it. But
you do? Okay.
Go ahead, though.
No, preseason Hard Knocks is probably going away. There was talk that Belichick and UNC.
Wait, preseason is?
I think preseason. Oh, hi, Tony.
You just showed up.
Good to have you on.
Sorry.
No worries. You need a man who needs no introduction.
He needs no introduction.
No introduction at all. Off season is it's not looking good. So there was talk that North Carolina.
Okay, off season. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought the off season one was.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Preseason, off season.
Okay.
But Belichick and North Carolina were being rumored, which I think would have been incredible. Would have been great. Awesome. Totally interesting. Belichick has said no, not going to happen. So
I heard that they didn't come to a financial deal.
Didn't give enough money?
Yeah, I heard that was the reason. Not that Belichick said no, but he may have said no to the money.
Understand that the Patriots were never on Hard Knocks when Belichick was there.
Ever.
Yeah,
I think this would be something that would be fun to watch, though. I mean, come on. If you got Belichick working with college kids, that would be great. Too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad it did not work out. All right. Well, you know what worked out today for you, Tony? You got to do the 1-1 game instead of the 16-1 game.
Man.
So that's better.
The man upstairs was looking out for you.
They were looking out for you there.
Man.
Looking out for your boy. Nick Pivetta looked good, at least on paper. Jason Adam, another spotless inning, Tony. I mean, we just getting so used to this guy. Seems like he doesn't even try, and it's just like, 1, 2, 3 every time.
I mean, a guy with his story that took so long. I mean, just think about this. Padres have him under control until 27, I believe.
Beautiful.
So, like, this guy had baseball taken away because of injury for a long period of time. And every time he's on the mound, it seems like he pitches that way with that in mind.
Right. And remember that he only throws weird because that's the only way he can throw without getting hurt.
It's like his innings have been so clean. It's almost been laughable, honestly.
We got a minute here before the end of the segment, but I brought it up earlier. I don't want to trade Robert Suarez, but God, to me, it's enticing to see what I can get just because Jason Adams seems like he could slide in there pretty easily.
If the rumors are indeed true, the Padres, have had callers on him or are open to processing move. If that is true, you can understand why watching Jason throw.
The only thing that would be different to me, Jason Adams,
you lose depth.
You lose depth, right? You lose the 7th and 8th inning because everybody's got to move up a notch there. Yeah. But I think the 9th inning would be just as comfortable if you had Jason Adams. But
I think based on how he finished last year, and I was so excited to see him throw, but he had been in a boot as Sean Reynolds. Like, how he has the type of stuff that could have played late. Obviously you want to build him into that role. You don't want to just start him there, but you wonder, is it because of guys like that they're even more? Because, ideally you could just slide him into one of those earlier spots and still have the same depth,
It's enticing. I gotta agree with you, Tony. I think it's very enticing to at least listen to offers for Suarez because they have so many other guys. And Jason Adam, I mean, he pitched in 27 games for the Padres last year. He gave up a run 3 times. I mean, come on.
Right.
It's the most automatic guy you could possibly have.
At 6:20 on the Skraby Show, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Jason Adam. There's a whole history to Jason Adam that I had no idea about, and it's a very good history.
All right. We'll look forward to
I'm glad you learned a little bit about one of your players there, Skraby. Good job, bud.
And he's going to share the knowledge with everybody.
I guarantee you Chris has no idea this thing about Jason Adam. Guarantee it.
I'll find out during the break, and I'll let you know when we come back on more Gwynn and Chris.
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
Coming up when. Who we got there? Do you know?
No, all this music, they're beds. They're like
It's a bed.
Yeah, it's like a royalty-free bed.
Crisello?
Yeah, they stole that. They jacked that off of Lenny Kravitz.
Sounds like a Lenny.
It sounded like Lenny Kravitz right there. Sure.
I'm hearing Lenny.
American Woman.
I'm not hearing that.
Okay,
but I'm hearing Lenny.
Those
I'm
other
hearing
songs
Lenny.
he sings.
I can't think of one right now.
He's got a lot of really good ones.
You're a Lenny Kravitz fan, huh?
Enough.
Okay.
Enough. 3:35 is the time. Crisello. Tony Gwynn Jr. is now with us from Peoria, where the Padres and Giants played to a 1-1 tie. Across town, the Padres did not play to a tie. They were destroyed today by the Cubs 16-1. So the Padres are now 3-8 in preseason play. And they got a D from the ESPN Plus people today, Tony, on the offseason ranking. Offseason ranking
we
D.
knew that.
Yeah.
We knew that.
So all of the goodies for the Padres right now.
We're going to have Matt Snyder on the show tomorrow, and he wrote today about 5 teams that are in danger of missing the playoffs after making the playoffs last year.
I would think we're one of them.
They are.
Yeah.
The Padres are number 4.
All right.
So we'll have to ask him about that tomorrow.
All right.
He's also a huge fan of the automated balls and strike system, so we'll have to ask him about that too.
All right. Well, that'll be tomorrow on the program. Make a note of that. Lakers are in action tonight against the Pelicans. The Lakers have not only won 6 straight, Tony Gwynn Jr. How about 16 out of 19?
Beautiful thing.
How happy are you?
Beautiful.
And
I'm so happy.
And how? Yeah,
16 of 19 takes you straight to the number 2 seed.
Yes,
That's
they're the
what that
number
means.
2 seed all of a sudden, the Lakers are. And I bring this up quickly because the team that they traded Anthony Davis to has had all of the bad luck in the world since that trade. And
literally,
Kyrie Irving, season ending, torn ACL last night. And, of course, AD's on the injured list. But now, when AD comes back, it's pretty much they got a bunch of frontline guys. They got nobody to dribble the ball over up the court. As they lose, they've lost Luka on the trade, and now they lose Kyrie. I wonder if, it's just the old karma. I think the Dallas fans probably think this is karma, right? Because they hate the Mavericks so much for trading Luka in the first place. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the Dallas fans think. I mean,
yeah, they've been.
I get them.
Yeah,
they're a little off somewhat. I mean, I get
agree.
their frustration and anger, but they've taken it to like the 10th power here. But
agreed.
The other thing is, they in some ways it's like, wait a minute, you gonna trade the favorite player away, then you gonna raise the prices on us?
Yeah.
Then the other best player goes down for the year, and the dude that you traded it for also is hurt. Like. I can see their frustration.
It's been an absolute nightmare.
Anything that could have gone wrong for Dallas absolutely has gone wrong.
The only thing that could make it worse is if the Mavericks call another press conference today to say that they were just kidding about yesterday's prices. They're actually going to charge more than that.
Yeah, they're going to go up. They're going to go up 12%.
Yeah, yesterday we were just kidding around. Now we're giving you the real prices. So,
man, I felt bad for Kyrie. That wasn't even a. That was like a collision ACL. Like he banged knees.
I told you that I've been coming around on Kyrie, and I was rooting.
Hey, man.
I was really rooting for AD to do well down there because
his
own
too.
fans had like totally just dissed the trade. I mean, you didn't.
Yeah, he didn't even get a chance to really prove what he could do.
Yeah.
Really.
So
I do commend Kyrie. I mean, he pulled his best Kobe Bryant last night. Shot the 2 free throws.
Oh, he did. Good.
With the torn ACL, and then had to be helped off the court afterwards. But man, sucks for him. It seemed like he had finally started to come into his own in terms of leadership and kind of being able to lead a team, and then boom, ACL.
You know what else? We're going to get all the "I told you so" people now. They're going to say, "I told you the Lakers killed him in that trade." Well, you can't really even rate the trade right now.
Nah, not even a close.
It's not even
right now.
Right. It's not even a competition.
Those same people love to diagnose trades in the first month that they're made. Like trades are usually a long-term deal where you're kind of seeing how it kind of shapes you. Because one year could go your way, the next year could go the other way. So we'll see.
Right now it's going.
I'm happy though as a Laker fan.
Clearly going the Lakers' way. All right, let's get to check of traffic here, Scrabe, and then Tony, you're just in time to whip Skraby's butt in a round of the Fantabulous Sports Game Show.
Oh, let's do it.
Not a fan of how you introduced that, Chris.
Sorry.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, a little relief on our roads. Westbound King Freeway cleared that crash at the 5 connector, so speeds are looking much better heading into downtown. Motorcycle accident and clearing stage south 125 at Grossmont. It's in the center divide. Also, an accident has cleared on south 163 just before the 8, everything over to the right shoulder. Now, eastbound 52 before Regents Road got this 3-car collision in the fast lane. Up ahead at Santo Road, a sweeper is taking care of some gravel in lanes. And 2-car collision in the East County. Eastbound 8 before 2nd Street. That's over the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, all you beautiful people out there. It's time to play one of our favorite games of the week.
All right.
We like to call it.
Ooh, I'm going to go.
Chris's Fantabulous Sports Game Show.
And it starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Fantabulous Sports Game Show time here. Did not have my normal prep time for this because we weren't 100% sure we were going with it today. But Skraby asked for one, put together one here. Going to tell you guys right now it's going to be a little tough, I think. Find out how your memory is. I guess that's always what the Fantabulous Sports Game Show is about, though, testing your memory. So
we all know I don't have the greatest memory.
Tony Gwynn Jr. is not known for memory either, unless it's the Fantabulous Sports Game Show. Yeah,
it's like a steel trap.
I got a good sports memory.
Yeah.
But after that, I'm
when
worthless.
it comes to wallets and water bottles, not so good.
Sunglasses,
not so good. Yeah. All right, so here we go. I'm going to give you a couple of hints because I think this one's tough. We're coming up on the NCAA basketball tournament.
No.
I want you guys to name last year's Sweet 16.
Oh, no.
I want you to name last year's Sweet 16 teams. Now, I am going to give you a couple of clues to help you because I think this will help you. I hope it does. Last year in the Sweet 16, all 4 number 1 seeds were in it. Also, all 4 number 2 seeds were in it. There were 2 3 seeds, 2 4 seeds, and 2 5 seeds. The reason I mention all this, those are 14 of the 16 teams were kind of supposed to be there. There's only a couple of long shot teams in there that maybe you wouldn't be thinking about. So go back to last year's NCAA tournament. How well will you do naming?
I can't, Chris. I don't.
The Sweet 16.
I don't remember anything from last
You don't remember
year.
any of it. So you're just going to strike out on 3 pitches?
I have 3 names written down, and only one of them I'm sure of.
Well, you better go first then. Tony, do you mind if he goes first?
Not at all. Handle it, buddy.
Okay.
Come on, give me a team in the Sweet 16
I'll go
last year.
UConn.
UConn was in the Sweet 16. Of course they were. Very good, Skraby. They won the championship. So Skraby gets on the board there with UConn. Well done, Scrape.
Thanks.
You're not going to get shut out. Tony, give me a team in the Sweet 16.
That might be the only one I get.
Really?
I'm so bad at recent stuff.
Tony, who you went with?
I already said it, so I'm gonna say it. I just messed myself up.
You're
Purdue
going
Boilermakers.
Purdue. Yep, they were in. They got in the finals against UConn. So Purdue's the correct answer.
Oh.
You're taming the whole Sweet 16, though. Purdue.
That was 2 years ago that they got eliminated in the first round?
It was. 2 years ago, Purdue got eliminated in the first round by Fairleigh Dickinson. Last year, Purdue made it all the way to the championship game. And they, like everyone else, was routed by UConn. All right, give me another one. Skraby. It was in the Sweet 16. I'll give you a clue.
Mm-hmm.
The campus is about 3 miles from here.
Oh, UCSD. No, San Diego State. I was
UCSD.
holding it.
You're going to hold out of that one? You might as well get it out.
That was the one I was gonna just take immediately, and then I said Purdue too loud, and it was just like, dang.
Yes, the Aztecs. By the way, the Aztecs are one of only 7 schools that have been in each of the last 2 Sweet 16s. Not too shabby. All right, Tony, who you got?
Let me knock down one of the Blue Bloods. How about UNC?
North Carolina was in the Sweet 16 last year. They were the top seed in their region. They lost in the Sweet 16. I'm not going to tell you to who, but they did lose. All right, it's 2-2. We got 4 down, 12 to go. Skrabe, now it's getting a little foggy for you.
Get a little tight.
I got a couple more teams on the list.
Okay. Who are you going with here?
You're the only 10 I see. Tennessee.
Ah, you love that line.
I do.
He does love that line.
Dalton Connect and Company were in the Sweet 16 last year. That's correct, Skrabe. Number 2 seed in their region. They ended up going up against Purdue in the Elite 8. And Purdue eliminated Dalton Connect and Company. But that is correct. You guys have done well. 3-2. 5 are down, 11 to go. No strikes yet. Tony Gwynn Jr.
How about the other North Carolina team, the Duke Blue Devils?
Duke Blue Devils, they did win in the Sweet 16 last year. That is correct, Tony. Duke was a number 4 seed last year, but they won in the Sweet 16, got to the Elite 8, where they were eliminated. Again, I'm not going to tell you who they played because I would give you answers. 3-3, 6 down, 10 to go. Skrabe?
What about Alabama?
What about Alabama?
Yeah.
They're in the Sweet 16 2 years ago. We know
I
that.
know for fact.
Because the Aztecs famously beat them.
Smacked them.
Yeah. Smacked them. You guys are going to laugh, but the other night when I was on the road, I came across a YouTube video of that game, and I watched most of it.
Oh, gosh.
I know. I watch it. I get drawn in, and I'm like, I got to see this again.
You do not need to apologize for that. That's what those memories are supposed to make you do.
Exactly.
Tears all the time over there.
Yeah. Alabama did make
Chris,
the Sweet.
why are you crying? I'm just thinking about the Sweet 16.
You don't understand. You don't get it. You'll never get it. You'll never get what we put up with as Aztec fans for.
I'm pretty good
years.
That's because he's a school hopper. He's a school hopper. He has no loyalty.
That was 30 years of rooting boiled down to one, afternoon. That's why that happened. Alabama was in the Sweet 16 last year. Matter of fact, they were all the way in the Final Four. So very good, Skraby.
I didn't know that.
You were good. 4-3. Skraby on top. Tony needs the tie here.
Arizona Wildcats.
They were in as well. They lost their Sweet 16 game last year. Boo-hoo to them, but they were in it. So we got Tony 4. We got Skraby 4. We got 8 down, 8 to go. Skrabe, the good news is there's a lot of teams that you've heard of left. So you could throw a dart at a board and maybe hit one. Unless you remember.
I'm a terrible darts player, Chris.
Are you? Not good? You're really not good? I think you might.
I'm not great. Okay. Not great. I play against my brother-in-law all the time.
You do, huh?
Yep.
Who owns the dartboard?
He does, because he's Irish. He plays darts all the time.
Okay. Does he hang it on the back? I had a dartboard and I hung it on the back of my door.
No, he hangs it on the wall.
Yeah, I hung it in the back of my door until I got about 35 holes.
That's what I was thinking.
Time out. Is that like a stereotype? Like do all Irishmen and women play darts? Like that is just
no, I just think that they like Irish people like bar games. Okay. Chris is giving me a look like, I've known this guy for over 10 years now. He's always loved bar games, and so did his
But you're speaking for every Irish person out there.
I think darts is a big part of their life in the pubs. Is it my turn?
Skraby, I'm going to send you out during the next break to pick up a Shamrock Shake for the group.
Okay.
All right. Yes, it's
Lucky's birthday is going to be on that Monday. We're at spring training, and I'm going to be very sad I'm not with him on his birthday. It's St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day, yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, go ahead, Scrag. 4-4.
I remember this dude. This just popped in my head, and I can't remember if it's 2 years ago or last year, but he's a big dude. Everybody was like, why don't you go play in the NFL? He said, nah, I'm good. I want to play basketball.
Good call.
NC State.
NC State guy, yeah.
Nice work, dog.
I just remember, I don't know the guy's name.
He looked like he should have been Zach Randolph's son.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he was identical.
Big lefty. I don't remember his name either, but he did get NC State all the way to the Final Four.
I actually heard Zach Randolph say that people were calling him asking if that was his son.
Like his long lost son.
All right, Skraby leads 5-4. Tony putting the heat on you a little bit is Mr. Skraby.
Yeah, he is.
There's 7 teams
left. How about the team that the Aztecs have already taken down this season? The Houston Cougars.
Dang it.
They got unlucky last year. They were in. They played Duke, and Houston's best player got hurt in the game. Jamal Shed.
Oh, that's
Duke
right.
beat them, knocked them out. But yes, that's correct, Tony. We're tied at 5. There's only 6 teams left. You guys are doing pretty good for thinking you're going to go over.
And that was Skraby who thought he was going to go over.
Well, now I'm taking heat on the chat for the darts conversation. I mean, I went to Ireland, and all we did was play darts. How can you tell me that Irish people don't play darts? We played darts for hours in that pub in Bundoran, Ireland.
You act like you were surprised you're catching heat.
In the county of Donegal. I've been to Ireland.
Boy, oh boy, Skraby.
You have no idea the heat I took for the backwards Parkers yesterday. I'm going to address them in the Skraby show. It was so crazy.
Yeah. We out there.
All right. Yes, I'm aware. I'm going to go with, is it my turn or Tony's turn?
Your turn.
I'm starting to get low.
Yeah.
Oregon?
Oregon's a strike. They did not make the
All right.
Sweet 16 last year. Oregon's had some good teams in recent years. I don't know. I'm trying to see where they were even in the tournament last year. They were there. They won the first round, lost in the second round as an 11 seed. All right, Tony, you can take the lead here.
How about the Blue Jays? Creighton Blue Jays.
I was like, wait, what category are we?
That's correct.
Oh!
Creighton has been in the Sweet 16 each of the last 2 years, just like the Aztecs. Creighton lost to Tennessee in the Sweet 16 last year.
Tennessee.
You're the only 10 I see.
I know. Thank you, Skraby. That's very kind of you. Would you like to go have dinner later?
No, not with you. Not with you. We're going to do that in spring training. I'm already not looking forward to it.
6-5. Skraby, you got 5 answers left. You need one.
Yeah, I'm just going to start naming teams that are good. Let's go with... no, it wasn't. But I'll say it anyway.
Miami was there 2 years ago.
Yeah,
in the Final Four. Yeah, the year the Aztecs made it. I don't think Miami even made it last year.
Great.
They struggled. So
I'm remembering the 2 years ago because we were so into it a lot more than last year.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that to a certain extent. All right, Tony.
Skraby, I can't believe you did left this one off. The Zags. Gonzaga.
Yeah,
I didn't know if I thought they may have been upset early.
They beat Kansas in the second round, and they got to the Sweet 16. Or they lost to Purdue. All right, it seems like kind of a fait accompli, but Skraby, you can get one more guess here. There's 4 teams left. Any one of those will keep you alive.
This is where I actually get foggy.
Clay in the South Bay says, Skraby, I do not play bar games. I do not go to pubs, but I do like darts. Thank you, Clay, for backing me up.
Thank you, Clay.
I'm just gonna end this suffering and go Tucky.
Tucky was nowhere to be found last year.
Oh, what about the sauce?
No. Kentucky, by the way, last year lost in the first round to Oakland University. Kentucky was
not the
seed.
one, not the Oakland that we know.
No, it's East Coast Oakland, right?
Michigan.
Yes,
Michigan. Yeah,
that's right.
And then anyway, that was it. That's the game. Tony wins it by the score of 7-5.
Play the music, man.
Play
Don't
some
do that.
music. It does
there
count.
There you go.
The four teams you did not name, none of them made the Final Four, but Marquette was in the Sweet 16 last year. Illinois,
wouldn't have got that.
Iowa State, and finally Clemson.
I wouldn't have got.
I don't know what I got Clemson either.
Those were the 4 you guys did not name. I know what you're saying, though, Skraby. It might have been easier to do 2 years ago, Sweet 16, because the Aztecs were so prominent in that. Yeah.
Finbar Prendergast on the chat says, darts in Ireland are a regional thing, much more popular in the north. My family is from Ireland. And guess where I was? I was in the northwest.
See, thank you for schooling my man, Skraby, letting him know that. What's his name? Finbar?
Finbar.
Tell Finbar we'd like to. What do they do in the South?
You're telling Finbar this right now.
I am. Why? What do they do in the South while the rest of the North is playing darts? That's what I want to know.
Don't they like throw big logs around?
Skraby, don't guess. Don't guess, Skraby.
Isn't that what they do? They do the log flipping.
Oh my gosh.
That's a real thing.
I believe you.
That's what lumberjacks in Oregon do, Skraby.
Oh, and Jeff backs me up even more. I'm 34% Irish, and I love darts. Thank you, Jeff.
Top of the hour.
I can't.
Chris versus the fans and all you dart players when we come back. I'm Gwynn and Chris. It's Gwynn and Chris on a Tuesday. 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock in Peoria, Arizona. That's where Tony is. Padres. Split squad action today. Did not go well. The one game was all right. They and the Giants played to a 1-1 draw. Any talk of going to a 10th inning, Tony? Were you and Jesse
we got a little spooked. There was some guys warming up in the bullpen.
Oh, you thought they might go 10,
no.
huh?
But then when the guy stopped and another guy got up, I was like, okay, they're finishing their ball.
Yeah. Cooler heads prevailed. They're like, no, we're not going 10 innings.
It's funny when it's tied and the bottom of the ninth ends. There's always like this kind of everybody like looking at each other like they're both sides, because I don't know that they ever like actually talk about it, right? Usually if they're going to go 10 before the game goes on, somebody say, hey man, if we get to a tie, we want to go that extra, and they usually have that discussion. But sometimes it's not had, and so you're not sure. You're looking at their bullpen, they're looking at your, but they're like, that guy's warming up. Are we going to 10th?
It's like no one wants to do anything, so
and
they're
then
just sitting there.
I think it was Bo Mill who came out and like kind of high-fived this guy and then turned his back, and that was like everybody's cue. Oh, we're done.
Let's go. People couldn't wait to get their cleats off. Padres' second squad today did not do so well, losing to the Cubs 16-1. Yeah, that's what happened there. Not a great day for Matt Waldron nor Brito in that game. Both of them gave up a few runs. Huh? Yeah, they both struggled a little bit. Nick Pivetta pitched great in the one that Tony saw, 1-1 game. 2 2/3, struck out 4. I believe he struck out the side in the first inning, Tony, based on what I saw. Reports I gleaned from my sources down there in Peoria.
You mean what I put on the sheet?
What somebody put on the sheet? Yeah, Skraby put on the sheet. I didn't read the sheet. I didn't read the sheet.
First inning, I think it was KK, or it was like strikeout, walk, strikeout, strikeout.
I didn't get that information from the sheet. That'd be the last place I would look for information. Don't forget, coming up at 5:30, today's biggest fan. We'll announce that. And if it's you, you'll have 10 minutes to call back and qualify for the grand prize, the 20 tickets to a night out in the Odyssey Suite at a Padre game later this season. Remember, the rest of you register your name, 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. Speaking of fans, we have a bunch of them online because they want to play Chris versus the fans.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know Gen 4.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, I'm going to read this, and I don't know if you did it or not, but we're doing it anyway. If you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's for authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla. For dining or takeout options, visit spiroscuisine.com. I heard Tony chuckling underneath that.
I'm not sure if he read it either, but I know.
Did you read it, Chris?
Don't recall having read it.
Shocker. On the sheet are also these reads that we have to do. All right. What you're going to be playing for today, Chris versus fans. Yes. You will be playing for a qualification for a trip to Las Vegas to have 2 tickets to Alanis Morissette at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace on October 24th, 2-night hotel stay October 23rd through the 25th at Flamingo Hotel and Casino, and a $100 gas card. I got a lot of responses on my Alanis singing yesterday, and everybody loved it. So
really,
yeah. I mean, listen, I think everybody's probably with me that those who have met you could close their eyes and see you as a younger version of yourself, belting out Alanis Morissette.
You ought to know
every word for word. I could totally see you.
You ought to know.
Yeah. I don't know. There we go. It's great. I sound exactly like her, actually.
Pretty close. It was
exactly like her.
That song was quite famous for its time, and it won a bunch of Grammy Awards. It also was the subject of a search because people thought that there was an NHL hockey player that she was a former boyfriend who was an NHL hockey player who she was singing to in that song.
They thought she murdered him?
No, the song is all about the fact that, you've gone on in your life, but you said you'd love me forever. And so she's upset at the former boyfriend. That's the song. It turned out it was, I believe it was Dave Coulee, the guy from
Uncle Joey from Full House.
Yeah, that's who she was singing to, apparently.
Yeah.
This just goes to show you that the people who thought they were good detectives back then have nothing on these people in 2025 that will find out everything.
They can find all that stuff
in a matter of seconds.
Yes, that is an anthem from a woman scorned to a former boyfriend, and it is quite the harsh.
It was definitely an anthem for sure.
Yes, it's quite the attack.
It was for sure.
And McKee, I have to say, is about Uncle Joey. Cut it out. Cut it out.
Yeah, sorry, Uncle Joey.
Uncle Joey.
The truth hurts, Uncle Joey.
He's a heartbreaker.
He was the heartbreaker.
Right.
It wasn't her.
Right. He dumped her, apparently.
Yeah.
According to the
song. What
anyway.
better? Uncle Joey, come on, bro. Lannis is still making money off of this stuff. Anyway. All right.
He had a different idea, so can't knock the man.
Gonzo on the chat says supposedly No Scrubs by TLC is also about Dave Coulier. I know that's not true. I know that's not true.
He's left singers littered all over the landscape.
Apparently so. Who knew he was such a heartbreaker?
I didn't know that.
That's funny right there. That's good timing too.
That was
Perfect
good timing. All right. We need rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know before you get in there, and you will get the first question for free today. All right.
Sorry, I've been a little off on my players.
It's okay.
Get bright.
You're not in the room with us. It's just different. Let's go to Alex. Hello, Alex.
What's up, Alex? Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Nothing much. Here we go. First question.
We're just watching some Nick Pivetta highlights from today, Tony. 3 strikeouts looking on the breaking ball. Like he was buckling knees with that pitch today.
He was out there spinning it a little bit.
Very good.
Spinning it.
All right.
Who was the only Padre to homer over the weekend?
What?
Okay, well, I have not been paying attention to spring training. Let's go.
What do you say?
Sound like you said
Jackson Merrill.
Jackson Merrill. Oh,
Merrill.
he
Nice
got it.
guess.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I got it
great
right.
guess.
Nice job.
Great guess. Here we go. Question number 2.
Hit it off of Seth Lugo. Last year's second place Cy Young Award finisher.
Give it up, Seth.
Yeah.
Question number 2. Oh. Which Padres catcher appeared in the most games at catcher last season?
Oh, the guy from Japan. Not from Japan, but Higgy, right?
Higgy.
His nickname's Higgy.
Higashioka Kyle from California.
From California.
He is from California.
I mean, he does have Japanese heritage.
He must.
He does.
It's not Higashioka, huh? Well, it's got to be Campusano.
I didn't really think this question out, to be honest, because there was only 2 choices.
There was
really.
really only 2 choices.
Sorry about that.
Bad
Alex.
luck for you, Alex.
Yeah,
that was bad luck for
I thought it
Alex.
was a great. I thought it was a great question
Chris.
until I realized that there's only 2 answers to it. It was closer than you think. Like Campy had like maybe 94, and Higashioka had like 86, 87. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Next contestant. Let's go to. I'm trying to find someone we haven't talked to. Let's go to Hayden.
Hayden.
Hi, Hayden. Welcome to the show.
Brethren, glad to be here.
Brethren. Very good, Hayden.
Glad to have you, my friend. Glad to have you. Here we go. First question. Who is the star player on Duke's basketball team right now?
That's going to be Cooper Flagg with 2 G's.
Thank you.
Go ahead, my guy.
Dang.
2G.
Taking
Yes,
no chances.
Indeed.
Taking no
Question
chances.
number 2. Oh, Skraby been doing his homework today. The Padres saw Fernando Tatis Jr., David Peralta, and what other outfielder in right field last season?
Gonna take some digging in your brain.
Yeah, tough one for me.
We have Hayden still?
Oh, he's thinking.
Is he
It
still
sounds
there?
like. I hear
his
him
car.
thinking. I don't hear him thinking anymore.
I don't hear him at all. And the fact that he hasn't said anything while we're talking might mean he's not here.
Yeah.
Hayden, are you there? All right, that's strange.
Well, get another contestant.
All right,
Whoa.
we
Sorry
gotta
about
drop
that, Hayden.
No, but we're gonna keep that question. No, I can't.
You think
drop
it's a
anyone.
good one?
They got to advance to that question first because there's a question.
Something's
number 2.
going on.
We'll keep it in there.
Something's going on, guys. I can't
Oh,
click
phones.
anything.
Oh, we've lost the
Phones
phones.
are acting real brand new here.
See, look, it says invalid at the top, Chris. Look, it says invalid at the top.
I have to tell you that this game does require phones.
You kind of need the
Oh
phones,
my
man.
goodness.
Yeah.
All right, I'm exiting the phones. We're gonna have to restart the phones. Let's see if that helps. But in the meantime, we can play Tiddlywinks.
So who? What was the question? Who else played right field besides Peralta and Tatis?
I don't want to. I don't
year?
want to keep. I don't want to
I
bring it
don't
up
know that the
because
phones are working
We're going to
anymore.
use it again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Phones
here,
is, like,
wait.
not
Now they're
working.
coming through.
Oh, they're back. They're working again.
All right.
Good luck finding Hayden again.
Yeah, I don't think.
Sorry,
we're gonna get
Hayden.
Hayden, you'll have to play again.
Sorry, Hayden.
Hayden,
Let's go to Austin. Hello, Austin.
Austin.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Austin. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not too
Not
much. Ready?
Here we go. First question.
Go.
All right.
Oh, first time player.
I knew it.
Oh!
First time player.
Ask that same question.
Here it is. The Padres saw Fernando Tatis Jr., David Peralta, and what other outfielder in right field last year?
Was it Bryce Johnson?
Wow.
Go ahead, my friend. Bryce Johnson.
What happened to him?
I completely forgot about him until I looked at this stuff. Poor guy.
Bryce Johnson.
Yeah.
What a pull that
What
was.
happened?
This one is a.
Go ahead.
Okay, we'll get to Bryce and what happened to him
Okay.
after we get to this.
Okay,
one.
sorry.
Okay.
Good job.
And this one is tough. It should be. It's question 3.
Mhm.
In 1981, Muhammad Ali fought the last fight of his career. Who was it against?
I'm gonna give this one to Chris. I gotta know.
Oh, he's gonna hand it off.
Smart.
We gotta get it. We gotta hear the buzzer.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you. Hello for the steal.
1981. That is a little more in my wheelhouse than you might expect.
Really?
I do remember boxing. I think
We're
it
already
was-
70. How did you remember that?
That's funny. I think I saw the fight. I rode over on horseback. Was it Trevor Burbick?
Wow.
Oh, you got
Wow. I'm sorry, Austin.
Skraby!
I cannot believe that just happened.
That's crazy that you got that right.
I told you, 1980s, man. That's my zone. Yeah, it was. It's pretty famous.
Now,
'cause
did
he
you
was
got-
completely, he was completely wiped out by that point. It was like a sad, couple of hours.
Wait,
so.
were you in college in 81?
Yeah, I just started.
So how did you guys watch the
It was
fight?
probably
Did you
pay
guys-
per view, but I mean, I think by that time Ali was so down the ranks that I don't even think people were that interested. I mean, he'd already
To
lost
watch it.
2 or 3 times before that, and just was not Ali at all. And then I think he gave it one more shot, and it was just no. It was a little like watching Mike Tyson fight Jake Paul there a month or 2 ago. Just wasn't much there.
How
for
did you
Muhammad
guys
Ali.
like? I can't wrap my head around how you got pay-per-view on a cable system.
I don't know. Maybe you had to call
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
probably-
You
in
had to
order
call.
it.
You had to
probably
literally call.
Yeah, and I think it was
Yeah,
$50, and we'd get like 10 people
I
come
re-
over,
listen,
and everybody give $5, and we'd watch the.
I'm
fight.
old enough to remember
Yeah.
what you had to do
Yeah.
when you wanted pay-per-view. You used to call the number,
Yeah.
and in the early 90s, it was like a hit 2 if you want to buy such and such. And then, charge your account.
No, I bought the wrong thing. Oh, no. Mom, I didn't mean to click that one.
There was plenty of teenagers like accidentally pushing the wrong buttons.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
My
The
brother
Spectravision channel.
My brother had a party at my parents' house, and when he was freshman in college, I think, and the guys thought it would be really funny to order every single adult movie on the list. So you had to clean that up.
There you go.
Good luck explaining that to Pops on the bill.
Seriously, like what?
Reading off the names and carrying.
Yes, the names were.
What was it in Little Big League? It was Night Nurses in Jersey. I think it was what it was called. Hayden's back, guys. Hayden's back, guys.
Oh, well, why don't we take a break then finish up the game? We'll let Hayden play on the other side.
All right,
we're
let's
so
do
late.
that. Yeah.
All right, traffic first, and then more Chris versus the fans. Stick around.
From the 855.
Up, Skrabe. I can almost hear myself think.
Sorry.
I didn't even know you were talking.
I know.
That sounds loud.
He's just got it really loud today.
I got to go here to turn up Tony. I got to make sure the stream is going. I got to make sure your mic's going. I got to make sure this button's hit over here.
Sounds like 4 things at once.
Yeah. I need to maybe turn it down.
As long as you're not chewing gum, we're okay.
I'm not chewing gum.
Good. Walking.
I'm not walking either.
Chewing gum.
No. But I did hurt myself getting out of bed the other night.
What happened?
I just stepped out of
Get
bed
out the
and
wrong side?
my ankle felt like it was broken.
Your ankle gave way?
Do you guys ever feel like that sometimes when you just get out of bed?
Was it asleep?
I don't know what happened. I got out of bed. It was like 2 a.m. and I stepped on it and I felt like it was broken. And I was like, this is just an old guy thing.
Interesting.
That sounds like an old guy thing.
Apparently that hasn't happened to Tony Gwynn Jr. yet.
No, I didn't say that. It definitely has happened to me.
Okay.
It definitely has happened to me.
Chris fell out of his bed like a couple months ago. So
I've done it more than once.
He falls out of his
when
bed.
When I'm asleep, I throw myself on the floor. Just for no apparent reason.
I just stared at him like I didn't know what to say.
All I do is I wake up.
Is that real?
It's real. I hit the floor. I wake up. My wife goes, obviously, are you okay? And I usually go, yes, even though I'm, not 100% okay. And then she rolls back over and I climb back into bed and then that's it. But I've done it more than once. I don't know what happens. Don't ask me.
That's too funny.
That is really funny.
Well, you're a sleepwalker.
I know
entirely. Which
I
is
know.
Crazy.
I know.
That's even funnier, actually. Sleepwalking.
He makes himself. What'd you make?
A soap sandwich.
A soap sandwich.
Oh, the soap sandwiches be bomb.
I got 2 pieces of bread out. And I put a bunch of liquid soap in the sandwich, and then I ate 8 pieces, and then I woke up, and I was like, "Oh, great!"
All right, let's finish up the game.
Oh yeah, that's what we're doing.
We
here.
found Hayden, so we have to get him back on.
Yes, we have to get him back on.
It a shot.
All right, Hayden, you are back. Are you there, sir?
Ball don't lie.
Okay, good.
Ball
Hayden.
don't lie. I
don't
like it.
lie.
I like it.
Right.
I like. Were
I
you
wish
on
I had
question
a-
number 2?
By the way, I wish I had.
No, I think he just answered
number 2.
question number 2, didn't he?
No, I don't think he answered 2. We gave him 2, but we didn't hear his.
No, I would have
response.
pulled Bryce Johnson though. I would have pulled that.
You would have pulled that.
All right.
Well,
Well, then we're on to number 3.
All right, go on to number
Nah,
3.
we gonna just give it
Well,
to
wait,
him.
no,
Like,
I should be on 2 because I
Okay.
never actually got to answer it.
Okay.
All right,
Did
there you go.
we?
See, Skraby trying to give passes over here. Let's do question number 2.
By the way, I think I'm going to make a new rule as a basketball official. The next time somebody says "ball don't lie," Automatic ejection.
Automatic T.
Yeah, just ejection.
Oh, ejection.
I've heard it so many times, I can't tell you.
Well, ball don't lie, Chris, and it's true.
I wish that would have been available when I was in high school.
Ball don't lie. The other one you hear a million times, and one. Every time they make a basket, they want to foul.
That's not really directed at you, though.
Who's it directed at? They want me
to
call a foul.
If you go to an open court gym right now, everybody's saying "and one" as they get to the.
Even though there's no officials there.
Even though there's 0 officials out there,
right.
And what? This is how it is.
It's just a thing. Okay, I won't take it personally anymore.
I do love ball don't lie, though. So.
All right.
We could all thank Rasheed Wallace for that one. Yes. He was the inventor of
Rasheed.
All right, here we go. Question number 2. All right, Hayden, who currently has the most hits in spring training for the Padres?
Oh, goodness. I got to go with my gut here and say Arise.
Oh.
Luis.
No idea.
He's had to hit in every game except for today.
Tirso or Nellis is my guess.
Ooh, Tirso with another one today, too.
Oh, that's great.
Indeed.
Sorry.
All right, we're
Come on, keep going.
The game's done today.
Yeah, it's cooked.
It's cooked.
You're cooked?
No, it's cooked. I have questions, but the phones weren't working. You guys,
do I just win today?
We have to end by 5.
Do I qualify for the prize?
No.
Oh.
You want to know that.
All right. No prize, no winner today. What are you doing?
No winner today. We'll go double Atlantis tomorrow.
Heartbreaking. You got Atlantis tickets. You got to get. Qualified for the Vegas trip, or that's the same thing, right? You're going to give 2 of them away tomorrow?
Yes. And we still have Kane Brown to give away on this show.
You haven't played the sounder yet.
Nope.
When you hear Kane Brown call in, you can win those tickets. All right, we got a Big 5 coming up. Part of the Big 5 is how Bad Bunny is now attached to the Padres. We'll explain when Gwynn and Chris continues.
When the
Apparently, the chat thinks that Skraby is brave, but also a chicken bleep. That's an Alanis Morissette line. We're getting all kinds of Alanis references today.
So good.
Skraby is literally singing random
we
Alanis
can't stop
Morissette
him right
lines.
now. We cannot stop him.
The only one I could really sing is
You
everything
can't
else
sing
is
that either.
because everything else is swear words.
That's not
Hey,
true.
but it's funny to me because for a long time, I never really listened to Alanis at all. Not really. I never listened to her. My wife, though, on the other hand, big Alanis fan, especially when she was younger, and she would randomly pick the
Quote
weirdest
Alanis.
lines out of her songs and just belt them out randomly, and it used to have me in tears. And so when Skraby just randomly started doing it, it kind of took me back. That was quite funny, my friend.
Thank you.
She's an interesting writer, Alanis is. But anyway, we digress for about the 43rd time today.
This is what we do best.
It is really what we do best.
We never really actually get to any
the actual
topics.
sports talk's kind of ho hum. The digressing is excellent.
It's at its top. It's at its high peak.
The biggest fan will be announced a little less than an hour from now. Right now, Bad Bunny and the Padres. Well, kinda. We'll explain in the Big Five.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Crystal Geyser, Alpine Spring. Couple stall vehicles along the 15. Now on the southbound side before Balboa, that car is in the center divide. A little worse on northbound 15, just past Villa Rancho. That stall is in middle lanes. West 78 stall vehicle just past College. It's in the center divide, and got a crash on North 5 Coastline before Carmel Valley Road. Fast lane is blocked. Emergency crews there, and looks like the slow lane may be blocked as well. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. Like Chris said, we have the bunny to talk about, and then we will go from there. But first, this hour 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Robert Half. 9 out of 10 hiring managers having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Our recruiting professionals utilize an award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today. All right.
Number 5.
Now, I really find it funny that John Heyman has been all over this story. Excuse me. And here's how he tweeted it today. It's now official. Tatis Jr. and the Bunny are now a team. BB's Remos Group will handle Tatis Jr.'s marketing and brand management. Tony, is he ever called the Bunny?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just found it really funny that John Heyman called him the Bunny. But there you go. That is the news. That is true. There was rumors going around before this that he is going to consider hiring Bad Bunny's group to personally manage him, but it is official. It is now him. It is now Bad Bunny. It is not his contract agent, right? It's just his brand management.
It has to be because Bad Bunny cannot be a contract agent. Based on
they've been the guys who were doing the agency have been suspended by MLB
some
PA
illegal doings.
Okay,
and they got some fines to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my question is, Tony.
Yes.
Does this concern you?
No. As long as it's on the marketing side, it doesn't concern me.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know that there's any reason to be concerned. It's not the only player that they represent. They represent Ronald Acuna, among, I think, 2 other pretty prominent Latin guys in our league. So I think if they're doing bad business, we'll find out. But I don't think there's any reason to believe that at this point. I know the agency part is different than what this part is. So at least I assume so.
All right, Chris, does this worry you at all?
No, what worries me is the fact that when you say Bad Bunny, I picture Benny Blanco. I don't know why.
Who's Benny Blanco?
Don't know who
That's Selena
Gomez's boyfriend.
Fiance now.
Fiance now. He's a big record producer, Benny Blanco. I don't know why I think of him.
He made some appearances on Dave.
Oh, that's where I recognize him from. Okay, I can see there's a resemblance, Chris.
There's not really a resemblance.
There's no resemblance at all.
From the pictures I'm looking at, there's somewhat of a resemblance.
No, it's the BB. It's the BB. Bad Bunny, Benny Blanco. That's all it is.
That's the only resemblance.
Yeah, and I'm not concerned. So
I just would like everybody to know that Chris knew that Benny Blanco was Selena Gomez's fiance.
Who doesn't know that?
Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that.
Sorry. All right.
Number 4.
For a week or two, we were getting indications North Carolina's football program would be the subject of a Hard Knocks season, which reportedly raised some concerns with the NFL. A spokesperson for NFL media told CBS Sports that the group could not come to an agreement with North Carolina and Belichick about the 2025 season. The series had been in discussions with the school for a behind-the-scenes look at Belichick's first season as a college football head coach. It also raised concerns for other college football programs because this would be a really good marketing tool to show players what North Carolina is all about. North Carolina general manager Michael Lombardi discussed the idea of the show on a Pat McAfee show appearance last week. He referred to the concept of North Carolina being the NFL's 33rd team. So, Chris,
God,
I'm going to change my question.
Do I hate Michael Lombardi? You can ask that if you want.
What do you think about North Carolina being the NFL's 33rd team?
I just think, that's silly. The other part of it, though, would have been really fun to watch Belichick work. It really would have been. But you said something to me either on or off air, I think off air, about this that made a little sense. The Hard Knocks is an NFL films production, and it's all about NFL films. And why would they be doing this whole thing on, a football university program? But I would say I think it's great, and I think we're just missing out here. It's too bad. No, but North Carolina is not the 33rd team.
What do you think, Tony?
If they are, then they should open up against the Dolphins so we can get a victory under our belts.
This is silly. These college kids would get boat raced against the worst NFL team.
Yeah, they would.
And I think the other thing is maybe he meant in the way they're going to run it is going to be similar to a 33rd.
I think that's probably more.
But a lot of teams are doing this now with the general manager, schools, universities, with the NIL stuff. They're getting a lot of these kinds of things are happening all over.
I think most of the smart schools are hiring GMs for that. But I still think there's probably going to be a difference in the way Bill Belichick is going to run his program versus what everybody else is. That's my guess. I don't know that be fact. And I assume that's what Mr. Lombardi is referring to.
Yeah. Do you think it creates an unfair advantage for North Carolina by having this and having kids be able to, for free, look into the program?
Well, they're not doing it, so it's not going to create a.
No, well, I guess what I was saying in that regard. What if they did do something?
I could see that being unless only if they were going to be like, this is we're only doing this North Carolina thing, and that's it. We're not going to offer this up to anybody else down the line. Then that's different. But sounds like part of the reason why they didn't come to terms on this is because it could create some disadvantages for teams that certainly already have some based on what we know.
I know one thing, September 1st, TCU, North Carolina.
I'll be watching.
We're watching.
Yeah.
I know another thing. Wait till Belichick and North Carolina have to play at Cal on a Thursday night in the middle of the season. I want to hear Belichick's reaction to that flight.
I don't think he's going to. Knowing Belichick, he
may not go to that game. He may just send somebody else to that game.
No, Belichick, I just don't see him even making a reference to the long travel. This dude is notorious for not giving in on any of those mental things that could beat you up. So we'll see.
But now he has to deal with a bunch of kids on the plane,
so
running down in the aisles and stuff.
Yeah, I doubt they would.
Yeah, college football player. You know, when I used to travel the Aztecs, they used to play a lot of grab ass on the plane. That's for sure.
I was thinking more of like running up the aisles and slapping people on the back of the head as they go.
Yes,
that's what 19, 20-year-olds do a lot of, slapping each other in the back of the head.
Have you ever met a 19 or 20-year-old?
Many.
Okay.
Number 3.
Warriors head coach Steve Kerr asked a question many of us have been asking for many years. Why doesn't the NBA call more traveling? Here is what Steve Kerr said after last night's game.
I don't understand why we're not teaching our officials to call travel in this league. They do a great job. They work their tails off. They communicate well. But I see 5-6 travels a game that aren't called. We had 4 ourselves in Philadelphia. None of them were called. It's a problem when there's like 100 fans in the stands and every coach on the sidelines. When I'm watching film, and it's like everybody's doing that. So everyone's seeing it. So we're clearly not teaching as a league our officials to look at the feet. And I've made that clear to the league. Maybe I'll hear back from them after these comments, but for the good of the game, the entire game is based on footwork. And for the good of the game, we need to enforce traveling violations, and we're not doing it. And I don't understand why.
That was Steve Kerr after last night's game. Let's go to our resident referee. Oh, man, I should have had this
Weren't ready.
Yeah, I know.
We now go to our resident referee, Chris Sello.
Why don't they call more traveling in the NBA, Chris?
Yeah. You're looking for so many other things, honestly. And traveling can't really get you in too much trouble. Guys elbowing each other can get you in trouble. But when it's out on the floor, the point that Steve Kerr brought up that's the best point is the fact that footwork is a huge part of being a great basketball player. And by not calling any traveling, you're not rewarding the guys that actually are good at their footwork. You're just giving everybody a free run at the basket. So, I think he's bringing up a point that needs to be looked at. But the other thing is that when I call travel in a high school game, invariably, let him play, every time.
It's the fundamental rule of the game.
Right. If you don't like it, take the rule out. But you shouldn't.
No, don't take the rule out.
Right, I know, but I'd be. Yeah, I know, right.
They're playing rugby at that point.
They would be playing rugby. But no, you're penalizing the guys that have great footwork by not calling traveling against the guys who don't know how to do it. And where else the travel needs to be called is when you catch a pass 7 feet in front of the 3-point line and then James Harden your way back before shooting a 3-pointer. That's traveling too, but they don't ever call that one either.
Tony.
The irony is that he is one of the dudes who has superior footwork.
Right. He doesn't need to do that. Yeah, you're right. Good point.
I agree with Chris, and I agree with Steve Kerr. I think it is, and I also agree with Chris that it is so hard and things are so much faster, so spread out, and you're watching. I think what happened was, honestly, and NBA has been criticized for this, the traveling thing for a very, very, very long time. But I feel like as the league started to crack down on the physicality and really made it a priority to, flagrant ones, flagrant twos, because they were worried about the image part of it, they've kind of let some of that, the fundamental parts slide, right? I think they were, remember in the 80s and 90s, they were less worried about the physicality and were much more on the fundamental parts, boxing out, over the back, traveling, some of those fundamental calls, right? And I think as they moved away from that and started focusing on it not being too physical, we've moved off of the fundamentals now. And so, yeah, I do think you got to call it, though. I mean, I think there's a reason why, some of these other countries are catching up because they are strong and they do teach those, and those referees are calling that. It's all part of the same kind of thing. So I agree across the board.
I'll be honest with you. Another thing as a referee, I straight up admit it, I don't honestly know everything about traveling. They really do need to teach it better. I think we all think we know it when we see it, but we don't always see it right.
Yeah, and in high school, college, NBA, they're all literally different rules in terms of what you can do with the footwork.
You got the step-through move now, the Euro step. A lot of times, the guy will catch the ball with his right foot as the pivot foot, and while he's standing there, he'll change to his left foot.
To his left.
That's traveling.
That's a travel for
Even
sure.
though you don't go anywhere, that's traveling, but you very rarely, notice it. It's a tougher call than people think. Anyway, sorry, Skraby, took too long on that.
No. We got plenty of time.
Number 2.
I'm going to need maybe a little help describing this, but let me set it up real quick. There's going to be a rule change in baseball this year. And
I got you.
All right. Pirates manager Derek Shelton called Nolan Gorman's run through second, quote, one of the most heads-up baseball plays, end quote. Now that it's all going to change, the new rule attempts to ban the run through at second base to help clarify replay reviews on plays where that happens. Per MLB's official language, quote, an advancing runner who makes no bona fide attempt to hold the base or to advance to the next base will be ruled safe but subsequently out for abandonment, end quote. The run scoring from third with 2 outs will depend on the time the runner passed the back edge of the base. So, Tony, did the rule need to be changed?
It did need to be changed, but I don't know that this is going to actually fix it, and here's why. So the rule is this happens with a runner on third, runners on first and third, ground ball hit.
2 outs in the inning.
2 outs in the inning,
okay.
Right? They go to second on a bang bang play.
Right.
The runner, instead of sliding, just runs through the bag.
Out into left field?
Out into left field.
Okay.
Right? Just so that you can't then I'm trying to wait. That's not how it goes. Runner on third though.
1 out.
And basically
maybe
runners were running through the bag as opposed to sliding like they normally do.
That's what it is.
And it was causing a bunch of chaos. I still think they might be in trouble with the way they wrote this, right? An advancing runner. So now guys are going to hit second and try to turn towards third. They're just going to, now they're running to a base.
Hey, I was going to the next base.
And that's the thing is, baseball players, teams are always trying to find whatever loophole edge they can get. This had started to become, even on double plays, not allowing you to complete it because you're standing up. And listen, it takes the dudes I came up playing with in that era would have had no problem. But these cats now, nobody really wants to throw a baseball through someone's face, right? The guy who's running the second now, they just stand up. They dare you basically to hit me in my face. And guys aren't willing to do it, so they throw it around, and next thing you know, there's an error. That run ends up coming in the score. That would have been the double play. And so that is I think that is what they're trying to clarify. I'm not sure that it's going to actually work. We'll see. I hope it does, though.
All right. Chris, do you think this rule needed to be changed?
Apparently so. Because everybody's cheating. And it's just ridiculous, right? Here's the thing. They didn't have a rule against trash can banging, really, but, they did that anyway. I mean, cheating and trying is different. I just don't like it. To some.
Yeah. To Chris.
I'm trying to read about it here while we're answering it, but we don't have a lot of time. So I'll just, say yes. It sounds like they were getting an advantage that, shouldn't happen.
All right.
Number 1.
Freddie Boom Boom Couples said Brooks Koepka wants to return to the PGA Tour from Live Golf. He was on Seattle's KGR 93.3 FM.
I hope he got Brooks' permission to tell everybody his business like this.
No joke. I talk to Brooks Koepka all the time. I love Brooks Koepka, and I'm not going to say anything extra except I talk to him all the time. And then he goes on to say he wants to come back. I will say that.
Extra.
I believe he really wants to come back and play the tour. So, Tony, do we think this is the start of the Live Exodus?
If I'm the PGA Tour, I'm certainly hoping so.
Yeah.
I'm certainly going to welcome him back. As I said, when this first started to kind of be rumored, I would certainly welcome back and then hope that everybody else wants to come back too.
Yep. Chris?
this has got to happen sooner or later, and maybe Brooks will be first. Can he not get out of a live? Is it?
No, he can't once his contract is up.
When's his contract up?
Soonish. I don't know exactly.
Right. This has got to.
If I was him, I would make sure I'm on my best game. Though coming back.
Seriously. All right, that is it for the Big Five. You guys are taking off. Chris will be back tomorrow. Tony's going to be on vacation for a little bit. Sam Levitt is going to join me from Peoria when we get back on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, it's Bennett Woods.
to Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. Tony and Chris are off. I am with Sam Levitt right now. I will introduce him in just a second, but I made a mistake. Tony is not on vacation. He wanted me to let everybody know that he's just not taking a vacation in the middle of the spring training. He has something that he had already pre-planned, so I needed to clean that up a little bit. Sam, you were out there in Peoria. How was your day off yesterday? Did you do anything fun? And I even texted you on your day off because you said you wanted me to text you to act like a little bit of a friend. So I texted you on your day off.
When did I tell you to text me?
On the show last week. Off? No, you didn't say specifically. You said that I never text you. So I texted you.
No, what I said is that I went to Peoria. I came to spring training, and I didn't hear from you for 2 weeks. Week and a half. Just disappeared. Disappeared off the face of the earth in the world of Matt Skraby. But I appreciate you texting me.
Yes.
Had a good off day. Didn't do too much. My original plan was to go skiing, but it was really snowing up in Flagstaff.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
all right.
There's Arizona Snow Bowl above Flagstaff, about 2.5 hours away. I've never been. And that was my original plan. Now, it was snowing, which is good for skiing, obviously, but I didn't feel like driving through a snowstorm yesterday, there and back, and the whole thing, and it just kind of fizzled out. So pretty quiet off day, got a cup of coffee, did some work, played some pickleball, did a little shopping, hung out, watched a little TV, nothing too crazy.
Now, how did pickleball go? Because we know you explained to us last week, and even Tony got into this whole conversation on Friday about pickleball, co-signing that you were very upset about the pickleball setup in Arizona.
It's not great. It's not great. The place in Peoria was a little bit better last night. It's too complicated. We don't move the games quick enough. So I'm still on the lookout for another pickleball place somewhere in the Phoenix area. So if anybody out there listening, if you've played pickleball in Phoenix, it doesn't have to be Peoria. It doesn't have to be Glendale, because I got to tell you, the place I go up in Peoria is like 20 plus minutes away anyway.
Oh, okay.
So I could go somewhere in Phoenix and it'd be equidistant from where I'm going. So if anybody out there listening has a pickleball recommendation for the greater Phoenix area, you let me know. Hit me up. Twitter, Sammy Lev, SAMMYLEV. Instagram DMs open as well. Sammy Lev there too. TikTok, Sammy Levitt, SAMMYLEVITT.
Are the DMs open on TikTok? Because I know you're much more of a celebrity.
DMs are open everywhere. My DMs are wide open.
Everybody noticed that his DMs are wide open.
My DMs are open, everybody.
They're open. All right. Well,
ready to be slid into at any time.
Just the way you said that really was interesting. But, usually when people slide into my DMs, it's about how my voice sounds like Kermit or it's something mean. So don't be mean to Sammy when you slide into the DMs. DMs open for Sammy. Slide right in is what he just said. All right, yes. Sam, you went out. Which game did you go to today?
By the way, can I say one more thing before we get into anything serious?
Yes.
If it looks like I'm a little bit of a mess, my hair, whatnot, I did just work out, so that's why.
All right.
Yes.
No, you're looking
on YouTube.
You're looking great. You're looking like you are in shape. You're looking like you're a pickleball machine.
I'm trying to lock it in before opening day. Really lock things in.
All right, Sam. Well, today, which game did you go to? There was 2 games. One game not so good. One game 1-1 tie. I believe you went to that game. I'm assuming, right?
I went to the home game. Yes, okay. I did not travel to Mesa. Thank goodness I did not, because I didn't see what the final score was, but it was 16-1.
Yes.
At one point in favor of the Cubs. But I didn't miss a lot today. Well, I saw the game in Peoria, but there wasn't a lot to see. It was a 1-1 game. Nick Pivetta looked really good. Results were really good. So that was probably the biggest takeaway from the home game. But yes, I did stay in Peoria today.
And so what basically Tony said was that Nick Pivetta looked like he was ready to start the season today. Like he looked really good.
Yeah. Looked great, was throwing strikes, got swing and miss. He struck out 4 of the 9 batters he faced. He did issue a walk, but I thought for a Cactus League Padres debut, he was really good. Fastball heavy, really commanded the fastball well. That really set up everything else. I think he was about 60% fastball. And look, we talked to him after the game, and he echoed what a lot of guys echo this time of year when you're a veteran pitcher, and that's you just want to feel good and feel like the ball's coming out well, and they have at least some semblance of command. And he was really good. Thought it was a really nice outing for Nick Pivetta. And look, I think we talked about this when the Padres made the signing, but you felt like the Padres saw some upside in Nick Pivetta, right? Looked at, again, we've talked about it before. If you go on his baseball reference page and you look at his numbers during his career, they're not going to necessarily blow you away, right? It's going to be a 4+ ERA, every year. Like you can look at basic numbers and they may not blow you away, but he's a guy who's always had really good stuff. I think you pair him with Ruben Niebla. I've seen with my own 2 eyes them work very closely in the bullpen together. So we'll see what kind of adjustments they make and what they can make out of Nick Pivetta, maybe turn him into an even better version of himself, which Ruben Niebla has proven he can do time and time again. So a lot of upside there. And today, step 1 for Nick was really good.
Yeah, we've also seen the last, let's go to Randy Vasquez, because a couple weeks ago, right before the Pivetta signing, Frank and I were all talking about how Randy Vasquez and Matt Waldron are fighting for that 4th and 5th spot. Now it's only down to a 5th spot. Randy Vasquez has given up, I think, 12 hits in 4 innings this spring. And everybody tells me spring training doesn't matter. Does it matter that Randy Vasquez has given up 12 hits in 2 games?
I think in his case it does, quite frankly. You're right. I will never read too much into spring training numbers and stats and results. But when you are competing for a roster spot, I think you have to. And I think Randy's case is a little unique because the problems we've seen his first 2 starts of spring very much echo what we saw last year, where he's just giving up a ton of hits and dealing with a ton of base traffic. Now, Randy last year, a lot of nights found ways to maneuver through it. I mean, how many outings for Randy Vasquez? Was it 5, 6 innings, 3 runs given up, but he also gave up 9 hits.
Yeah.
There were a lot of those final lines for Randy, and you felt like he did, for the most part, a really good job in battling out of situations, but just a ton of base traffic. And that's what it's been the first 2 starts of spring. And I think when you hear Mike Schilt talk about it, when you get the perspective of the organization, and I think Randy knows this as well, it's just a dangerous way to pitch and a dangerous way to live. And I think that's the concerning part for Randy, is that we're seeing that in spring already, kind of the same thing that we saw last year. And he was able to maneuver through it at times last year, but man, it's a dangerous way to pitch. And I just, unless he shows improvement, if he's going to have outings like that during spring, I find it a little hard to see how he comes out of the mix here and wins that 5th spot. So look, it's early. He's got time. Randy's obviously got talent, but he is, I think, whether we're talking spring or long-term for Randy, or just when he does contribute this season, if that's on the opening day roster or later in the year, he's got to cut down the base traffic, because it's just a dangerous way to live.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think Mike Schilt gives him the nickname Traffic Cop, which isn't a great nickname, because it means you have lots of traffic.
I mean, I understand. Look, I understand what Mike's trying to.
Yeah, he's directing people.
Yeah, Mike doesn't mean anything. Mike doesn't.
Of course,
mean anything by it, right? But there is some truth to him saying that, because he's dealing with a ton of traffic on the bases and trying to work his way out of it. It's constant base traffic, which I think is the point. So, look, I think Randy understands that he's got to improve that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
He's going to get more opportunities. And look, we know over the course of a season, somebody like Randy Vasquez, even if he's not your 5th starter, there is a very good chance that you're going to have to rely on him at some point for something. So it would be in his best interest and the Padres' best interest that he makes the improvements he needs to.
Yeah, right now going, I don't know where this is in relation to where you are, but the Dodgers are playing the Reds, and Roki Sasaki is supposed to make his debut after 4 innings. Yamamoto has already given up a run. Ellie De La Cruz. I didn't realize Ellie De La Cruz was hitting .538.
So that game started already?
Game started, and Yamamoto's on the mound right now, and the Reds actually just scored another run. So Yamamoto not having a great spring outing.
when is Sasaki supposed to pitch?
What I read was the plan was for Yamamoto to go 4, and then Roki was supposed to go 3, and then they were going to work off of that.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That because my initial reaction was, man, he's already going 4, but I forgot they're going to Japan, so
everything's sped up.
Little sped up, yeah.
Everything is sped up. I don't really know much about this, Sam, but quickly, it's not. We don't need to spend a lot of time on this, but Fernando Tatis Jr. Is with Bad Bunny now for his brand management marketing. We just talked about it in the Big Five, so that's the reason I'm asking. But with the sort of questionable, I don't really know how to describe it, but Bad Bunny is not allowed to be an agent. He can be a brand manager, but he cannot be an agent. So anyway, the question was, are you concerned about this?
No, look, Ben and Woods brought it up this morning. I guess that news came out during our segment this morning. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know a ton about it or the Bad Bunny agency issue with the union or why they were they banned? I haven't even really focused on the story.
I know that they're not allowed to be agents.
Okay, I have to look a little bit deeper into the story, but without knowing the full context of that part of it, I mean, from a marketing standpoint, I think it makes a ton of sense. I mean, Bad Bunny is huge. I mean, is a global superstar. You know, and if I was Fernando, I'd want to be a part of that agency too. And I'm sure they're going to be able to do a lot of good things together from a marketing and exposure and partnership. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what the game plan is, but makes a lot of sense to me in a marketing sense for Fernando, certainly. So sounds like a good move to me. I don't know anything else about the agency or about their ability or non-ability to represent players or what happened there. But if you're telling me for Fernando, it's it's a more of a marketing type thing in partnership and representation, then sounds like it's a good fit. Sounds like it'd be something that would be pretty successful.
Yeah, I'm looking through it right now. It's a little too complicated for me to learn on the air right now, so I'll take a look at that.
You got to check out the new
out.
Bad Bunny album, Skraby.
Okay.
I'm not joking.
I don't think you're joking.
I've listened to Bad Bunny on and off, and I will tell you that his last album was my favorite of his work.
Wow.
That I've heard. My personal favorite. Very, 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 very good. And
So-
I'm not gonna lie, I don't understand a lot of what he's saying. I get little bits and pieces. But
I'll check it
Really
out.
good.
I got Alanis Morissette tonight,
look,
and I got Bad Bunny.
Yeah, Ben and Woods asked me about it this morning. I'm going to be honest, I haven't looked into it today to really understand like the whole thing, but from just hearing the headline, I mean, from a marketing standpoint, would seem to make a lot of sense.
Broad
and,
view.
Be cool.
Good move for him. Not that big of a deal. That's the broad view of everything. So, all right.
It doesn't, I mean, to be honest with you, it doesn't sound like a huge, I mean, it's cool for Fernando.
Yeah,
and I hope it all is great, and you know, he enjoys his partnership or representation with them, whatever it is. I don't know that it's like in a baseball sense a really huge deal. You know,
he's represented by Bad Bunny now on the branding side, so we'll see some Fernando stuff coming out this year. I'm sure we'll see a bunch of stuff from Fernando this year and years to come, because Bad Bunny's gonna drive all of that. All right, when we get back, we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on in spring training, and then at the end of the hour, we have Chris and I did a Padres Pen Pals earlier today, so stick with us. Sammy Lev with me for one more segment on 97.3 The Fan.
From the
Congratulations to Melanie for calling in when she heard the Kane Brown sounder. We will have more tickets to give away later in the week. But I got to say, Sam, I know you're more into the music scene than I am. I'm more of a podcast person. You could ask me for the most popular artist in the world right now, and I could not name who it is or what song it is. But Kane Brown, I was going through some of his songs trying to find a good little piece of his songs to put up there so people can call in. He's got some good music, man. I like his stuff.
I don't think I've ever heard a Kane Brown song in my life.
All right, I'm gonna
nor do I know what Kane Brown looks like.
Okay. Wow. I assumed that you would know all about this.
Nope, but I'm happy for Melanie who gets to go to the concert.
I mean, Kane Brown's a big deal,
time, Melanie.
But this is the song with Marshmello that I just kind of played. You've heard this song before.
We've been tearing up since way back when. These wheels are innocent.
Let me hear the chorus.
New seats, no hit.
Do you like Marshmello at least?
Just can't fake that, so let's change that.
No.
Girl, let's go put some miles on it. Back of the Chevy with
this isn't the chorus, right?
I think it is. I don't know.
Let it go a little bit longer.
Okay, we're going a little bit longer, everyone. Brandon says,
I don't think I've ever heard this song in my entire life.
Really? I'm completely surprised. I thought.
I like country. I like I like Texas country.
That doesn't
for
really,
my time in Corpus Christi and Amarillo.
That doesn't speak country to me. That song right there. It doesn't speak.
No,
country
it does
at all,
not
at all. But he's a country artist. Brandon said, "Welcome to Country, Skraby. Glad to have you on board." I'm not on board, Brandon. Sam, you're next. So, every country song I hear is about how someone broke up and they're drunk and they lost their dog. And, I know that's the bit about country music. But anyway, congratulations to Melanie for winning.
Have a great time, Melanie.
Kane Brown tickets.
Where is that concert?
Pechanga Arena, yes.
Okay.
Have you ever been down there?
Nice. I've never been to a concert there, but I've been to a San Diego Sockers game there.
Oh, okay.
I've been to a San Diego Seals game there.
Seals games are fun.
But never a concert, no.
All right, well, someone needs to get Sam to this Kane Brown. Actually, he's not going to be in town.
No, I'm good.
Wow. No, I'm good. All right, Sam. I found this article on The Athletic earlier, and it was it was The Athletic. It was from last year. Well, they're trying to gather responses for this year, but last year it was called the MLB Hopometer, and so they've polled all the different fans. I think they had 22,000 votes in this whole thing, and so then they raked all the teams in order of most optimistic fan base to least optimistic fan base. Last year, the Padres had 58% hope. So, what is your prediction for the Hopometer for 2025? If last year,
can you give a little bit more context? What is the criteria of the Hopometer?
The criteria is basically they asked you. They asked. I went through and I took the survey, and they asked you, what team is your favorite team? Boom. On a scale of let me go and get this going before I go tell you something.
It's basically how much hope do you have in your ball club?
Yeah, do you have
the upcoming season?
Exactly, and 58% last year seems a little bit low for me.
58%. I would think it would be higher this year, this spring training. If you recall, a lot of people were predicting the Padres to be like around the 500 team.
Yep.
A year ago. And certainly during spring training, it felt like there were a number of holes, right? We could never have predicted what Jerks and Profar would end up being, and the list goes on. So I feel like there's a more optimistic vibe this year at spring training. And the reason I say that is, I think coming off a 93 win season, I think right now, maybe more so than a couple of months ago, it feels like you like the core of what they have. You like the top four in their rotation a lot. You love their bullpen. The top 6 or so in their lineup, I think you have a lot of confidence in what they can do if healthy and what they can produce. So with all that said, coming off a 93-win season, it seemed that was very impressive in the regular season in 2024. I'd like to think that hope-o-meter would be above 70% this year. So I don't know, maybe I'd put it at 75.
All right. The only question, and I don't know why.
But they didn't come up with results for this year yet.
Not this year. The number I gave you was last year, but it says basically it's which team do you root for? And then dig deep, be honest. Are you optimistic about your team? Yes or no? That's basically what it is.
I would think a lot of Padres fans are.
I think so too. I can understand.
If that's the core question, are you optimistic?
Yeah.
I would think a lot of Padres fans are. And I think over the course of the last month, I think that's really built a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree.
Some more activity, off-season wise, the signing of Pivetta, naturally you get the spring training. I think everybody, feels more optimistic, and you start believing in the best version of what your team can be.
Yep.
So I would think it'd be a lot higher. I think there was a lot more doubt actually this time last year than right now. I do. So I would say
they cited actually
I would say somewhere above 70%.
They cited in the 2024 results that people were the 58% came from people who saw their team miss the playoffs the year before with a team that probably should have went to the World Series. So that's why
so that's right. And I think that's a very important part of it. I mean, this time last year, they were coming off a really, really disappointing 23.
Oh my gosh, 2023,
right?
Sam, sorry to cut you off. San Diego Padres were the number 2 most optimistic.
I bet it was 87%.
No, 98.8%.
Wow. Well, look, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, how could you have not been optimistic this time in 23?
You were already sizing up your
you were
World
over the
Series
moon.
rings.
So I would like split the difference of those two. 58, 98, you probably land somewhere in the 70s.
All right.
Somewhere in the 70s, I would say would be my my guess.
I'm gonna keep
when do they usually put this out?
Let me see when they released last year's. The Athletic doesn't make it easy with your signing in. I have to go to March 27th. So right before opening day, it looks like it comes out. So I'll keep an eye out.
Our prediction is somewhere in the 70s. I'm going to say right around 75.
Yes. All right, Sam. Thank you very much. One thing
That's
need to
it?
do.
You're kicking me out?
Yep. We got Padres Pen Pals next. You're very nice to come by and help me out for the half hour. Before we go to break, though, congratulations to today's biggest fan, Oscar Camarillo of San Diego. Give us a call back within the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973, and you'll qualify for our grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game later this season. Remember to register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. Oscar Camarillo of San Diego, your 10 minutes starts now. Thank you very much, Sam. Talk to you soon.
All right, Skrabe. See you.
All right, Padres Pen Pals on the other side. this every once in a while because it surprises people from what I've been told, but I am a huge heavy metal fan. Like, this is just some random bed, but I listen to a lot of crazy music like this. I love it. Gets me pumped up. Back in the day, I used to be a little punk rock kid right out of high school. I think I've told that story already. How I gauged my ears and I painted my fingernails black for like a day. And then my parents said, you will never do that again because no, if you want to live in this house, you will not be painting your fingernails black, Mr. Skraby. That's what they told me. And I didn't ever do it again. I'm Matt Skraby. This is Gwynn and Chris. We are about to head into Padres pen pals, and there was a lot of angry Padres fans in my DMs the past couple of weeks. Some of them really angry with me, so we're gonna talk about those and get some opinions from the fans out there. Also, Skraby Show is still on tonight. It's going to be at 6 p.m. As always, we're going to talk about. We have a bunch to talk about. First, I want to talk about. At 6:20, we're going to talk about Jason Adam and all of the things that I learned about Jason Adam and his history with the Padres that I had no idea that was even a thing with Jason Adam. But, you know, I knew that he was a Padre at one point. I did not know how far everything went with the Padres and Jason Adam. So we'll talk about that. We'll also talk a little bit about I wasn't really sure if I wanted to talk about this or not, but I've seen it in so many different places now on Instagram, on Twitter. I even sometimes go on Facebook and I've seen it. But we're going to talk about whether or not the Padres not tweeting or Facebooking or Instagramming on the night SDFC kicked off was wrong. Because I've been seeing fans saying that this is very wrong for the Padres to do. And I didn't really know what to think about it. And so I did a lot of thinking over the last couple of days. And we'll talk about that we'll get into that a little bit. But there are some pretty angry people out there. The Padres didn't do anything. I don't necessarily, here's a little preview. I don't know what their tweet does, but we'll talk about it more in the Skraby Show. Also, one of the most serious conversations that we have on a yearly basis. At this point, it's a yearly basis. Backwards Parkers. Backwards Parkers came for me yesterday. I don't know why it's me that everybody comes for. I didn't really do anything, but Backwards Parkers not happy with me. We'll talk about that. And then the Daily Gripe today. If you've never heard the Daily Gripe, it's the last thing we do on the show, but it's a little serious today. I have a little bit of a maybe morality question for everybody out there. So I don't want to be too crazy about it, but you know, I guess we're going to be talking about some very serious stuff tonight on the Skraby Show, and that starts at 6 p.m. But right now we're going to get to Padres pen pals. Chris was with me earlier, and we, I guess, answered the fans.
From the Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Eastbound 52 is at it again. This time it's a stalled car in middle lanes just past Convoy. Also traveling up the coastline northbound 5 before Cannon. There is collision involving a couple vehicles there over the right shoulder. Traveling on northbound 15 in the Fallbrook area. System slowing toward this car fire just before Mission Road. Looks like the 2 right lanes are blocked for you there. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's time to ask the experts, Padres fans.
I was hoping maybe you can bring a little insight into it.
Write us, tweet us, Facebook us, send a carrier pigeon for Chris. He thinks they're cute. Padres Pen Pals begins.
Hurt the pelota big time.
Now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, I think it's been a little while since we've done a Padres pen pals, and my DMs have built up, Chris. The nerves of the season are starting to hit people. The panic is starting to hit people.
What's the panic for?
I don't know. We're going to try to determine this throughout Padres pen pals, but what we do here is I go through some of my DMs and I find out what people are thinking out there, and then I present it to usually Tony and Chris, but today it's going to be Chris and myself. So let's start. I clicked it. There we go. Skraby keeps telling us Jason Hayward is a terrible move for the Padres, but no one is talking about how terrible a move it is to bring in Connor Joe as a guy to platoon. Why are we acting like this guy is some perennial all-star? By the all-star break, he's going to be in El Paso, and left field will be a wasteland. So, Chris, why the hate for Hayward and not for Connor Joe?
First of all, it sounds like this letter came from Rancho Bernardo, which is a rival of Poway.
Oh, I see. The Broncos people.
Yeah, it sounds like a Bronco letter.
You know
to
what?
me.
I didn't even consider that.
You're hating on Poway a little bit. I don't know exactly what's that's based upon. Here's the thing that I would say about Connor Joe, and I said it when he arrived. Number one, he doesn't have to be an all-star. They didn't need another all-star in left field. They needed somebody to play left field. And on a platoon basis, I believe hitting against right-handed pitching only, and I think that's what he's going to bat against 90% of the time, Connor Joe's going to give you a decent performance out there. And that's all you need. You don't need – you've got Manny Machado. You've got Fernando. You've got Jackson Merrill. You got Bogarts and Crony. You hope that they bounce back. Those are your guys. That's who you've built this team around. You haven't built the team around Connor Joe. Connor Joe, to me, is a perfect fit. Not only can he play left field, he can give you some first base, give Arise a couple of days off his feet, and he's going to hit against left-handed pitching. The rest of it will be up to Jason Hayward. Now, I am legitimately concerned more about Hayward because he's going to have a lot more at-bats, a lot more starts. There's far more right-handed pitchers than there are left-handed pitchers. So Jason Hayward is going to have to do it more often than Connor Joe is. But if you look Connor Joe up, he's not in the running for the MVP, but he can bat eighth and deliver a hit or two here and there and a little power. He's going to be okay. You don't need an all-star. So, he goes to El Paso. You called it, but I really don't think this letter's on point.
Number one, every successful team has a Connor Joe on it. So you have to have a Connor Joe to be successful. Some guy who's, as Chris said, going to supply things every once in a while when you need it. By the way, this whole Skraby hates Jason Hayward thing, it's not that I hate Jason Hayward. I'm going to make this very clear. I don't think that he is going to bring any offense to the Padres. And I know it's spring training.
You keep trying to make it clear.
He still does not have a hit in spring training, and I know that doesn't matter, but it kind of does.
It doesn't mean anything. And the fact that you say you don't hate Jason Hayward, and then in the next sentence you say, but I don't believe he's going to provide anything, that sounds like you're not a fan. Doesn't sound like you're a big fan if you don't think he's going to provide anything at all.
What I want to separate is that I don't think Jason Hayward
you don't hate him personally.
Yes,
you don't even know him.
That's all I want to say.
You don't even know him.
Because I think people are getting that twisted. Like, Skraby hates Jason Hayward.
No, you don't hate him personally. You hate him as a ball player. And that's what people are.
Defensively, no issues. No issues.
He's got a few gold gloves.
I mean, Connor Joe's also younger.
We'll see what happens with that platoon. And we'll see if that stays the platoon all year. Tirso Ornelas and Oscar Gonzalez and Forrest Wall may all have something to say about that. Eggy? Yeah, there's a lot of options. So even if this letter writer is right on the money and Connor Joe just can't do the job, there's other guys who might be able to.
All right, let's go to the next one. I'm up first. Starts like this. Dude! You guys are acting like fans haven't told you about Tirso Ornelas for the past year and a half. It seems like you wait until it's convenient to talk about a guy instead of breaking the mold and talking about them early on in their development. Why don't you guys believe the fans? Number one, it's not that we don't believe you. It's that we have to find the guys that are actually going to be on a major league team. Tirso Ornelas wasn't cracking the roster, or at least getting a shot to crack the roster for the last couple of years. Number two, fans have also told me that they wanted to trade for Joey Gallo. They've wanted to trade, I'm not thinking of someone right now, but they've wanted to make some terrible trades. We aren't ignoring you fans or not believing you, at least for me. But this is, crazy to blame us for this.
What are they blaming us for? That we haven't talked about Tirso Ornelas before he got here?
I think this person, because I didn't get any more out of them, they think we're riding the fans' coattails. There we go.
On Tirso Ornelas.
Yeah.
I see.
Yes.
Why? Are any of us predicting superstardom for him? And what are you? First of all, I don't know how well he'll do. I hope he does great. But what are you basing your superstardom prediction on? 20 home runs at El Paso? Hate to say it, a healthy Skraby could hit 15 at El Paso.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
And he's got 7 hits in spring training. I mean, are you ready to put him in the Hall of Fame for that? I don't think the Padres are. I don't think the Padres are ready to hand over left field to him yet. This particular letter or note seems to be, predicting superstardom for him. I hope you're right. And if so, I'll be happy to give you all the credit. But I don't see how I'm riding anybody's coattails. I don't think Tirso Ornelas is somebody we can count on quite yet. He hasn't proven it to me at a legit major league ball player. He's a legit AAA player, and he's been there for quite a while in the minors. It's not like he's just, showed up, working his way up. He's been there for a while. There's a reason he hasn't been to the big leagues yet. Maybe this is his breakthrough year, but he hasn't proven anything to me, nor do I see how he's proven anything to the person who wrote in.
Yeah, there are certain people that really, one of their joys in life is proving us wrong.
I hope. Well, good. We have a lot of opinions. They're not all correct, and I don't. No. And when I give an opinion, I don't claim that they're all going to be correct either.
No. All right, that's it for the mean ones. Let's go to some funny ones, or a funny one and then a fun one. I made a bet with my friend that Fernando Tatis Jr. Let me start this over, Chris. I made a bet with my friend that Fernando Tatis Jr. will have completed a 30-homer, 30-steal season by game 120 this year. This bet was made after about 6 beers at a bar, and I'm really thinking I probably lost the $100 I bet on him because I looked at his stats, and my first concern is Fernando's health. He doesn't seem to play a full season. Second concern is he has never stolen 30 or more bases. He's only stolen 29 at most. So, Chris, do you think Toddy can get to 30-30 by game 120?
I do not. No, I don't. I think you had beer goggles making that bet for you, or a betting version of beer goggles, as it were. 30-30 is a hell of a season and a full season. I think Bobby Witt Jr. did it last year. It took him pretty much the whole season to get there. Pretty much the whole year, and Bobby Witt was second in the MVP balloting. This is, not an easy two plateaus to make. I think Fernando can easily hit 30 home runs if he stays healthy. I don't know that he runs enough to steal 30, but if he does, he's not going to do it with 40 games left in the regular season. But let's hope that he makes a run at it, because anything that Fernando does in that regard is going to be beneficial. There's a lot of people that believe Fernando is sitting on a monster breakout season, breakout in the sense that he fulfills some of the Madden cover greatness predicted for him. And when I talk about Madden cover greatness, I'm talking like he's right there for the MVP. Like he's with Acuna, he's there with,
Mookie.
Shohei, he's there with Mookie, he's there. That's the kind of thing that, people are hoping he can get to. I don't think less than that's going to be disappointment. I'm just saying, there's some people that think you might be right, but 30-30 in 120 games, I don't think.
Yeah, I think that's where you made your mistake, is by saying game 120, because maybe a full 162, but I don't think he's going to play 162. I think he plays, if he's healthy, 145 at the most.
I hope
maybe
so.
DHs, but he can get to the 30 homer thing by game 120. I don't think they're going to let him run as much as we all want him to run, because they want him to stay healthy. It's one of the reasons they moved him to right field. Keep him healthy. They don't want him sliding into second and breaking his hand or something like that, knock on wood. So I think you lost your $100, but a fun bet nonetheless. All right, last one.
What's
Chris.
fun about losing $100? I don't find that to be a fun bet at all.
I think the premise of the
Nothing
bet is
fun about throwing $100 down the drain.
It's great, because we just got to talk about a guy who threw $100.
I don't know whoever this guy is. Next time, just send me $100 and I'll give you my opinion. How do you like that? Because that's pretty much what you just did.
Don't make bets 6 beers deep. Those are the bad times to be making bets about your team. Final one. I need help to decide what series I should take my son to for the first time. I have a pretty limited schedule due to work, but I can make a game in one of these 3 series to begin the year, Chris. Rays, Giants, Angels. Which one would you go to? I'm going to go first. It took me a long time to think about this. I think you go with the Angels because Mike Trout. If he's healthy, Out of those three teams, Rays, Giants, Angels, I don't really care about seeing anybody on the Rays. I don't really care about seeing anybody on the Giants, and they're coming back. The Angels are up the road. They got Mike Trout. He's the only superstar I could think about in this situation. Chris, what would you do?
I'd go see the Giants. The atmosphere at a Giant game is twice that of a game played against an American League opponent. And the other two opponents are both American League teams, Tampa Bay and the Angels. Mike Trout is an interesting draw, but, he'll come to bat 4 times. The Giants, Padres obviously don't have the same level of rivalry as Padres, Dodgers, but it's far more intense. It's division games.
It is, yeah.
There's a lot more at stake. Teams know each other, don't like each other, etc.
Bob Melvin's in town.
Bob Melvin manages the other team. That adds to some of the allure of it. So bring your kid to a Giants game. But you know what? Bring him to any game. Come on. It's his first game.
It says first
Bring
time.
him to any game, man. Just have a great time. The opponent, is just part of the attraction. But I think the atmosphere will be better at a Giant game. But I think the fact you're taking him, that's really exciting for a parent. I mean, I'm trying to put myself in the parents' shoes here.
There would be some
and thinking,
tears.
oh my God, I'm taking my kid to my first ever game. That's an emotional kind of night for a dad.
It is. And
Come
to think of it, I went to Padres Rays last year on Father's Day, and Fernando threw someone out from right field. It was very exciting.
You never can tell what
the
kind
Giants,
of play you're going to see.
But the Giants, you're right. You're probably right with that one. If you want a real feel of a divisional rivalry, that's the one to go to. So
I would do that. I think I remember the very first Dodger game I went to. I think. And I believe they played the Mets, but it doesn't mean anything to me.
You have no idea which game you went to.
I think it was the Mets because my dad knew a player on the Mets who left us tickets. So I think that's how that happened.
That's kind of cool.
But my point is, I don't know that it's a lifelong memory. A lifelong memory is something that happens in a game. I don't think your first opponent is a big deal. But
yeah, you're probably
go Giants
right.
if you don't have any other. If you can't find any other reason to go to one of the others, pick the Giants. If it's all equal.
One of my first moments that I can remember of 49ers was a Jerry Rice touchdown down the right side. I could still see the play. It was beautiful, Chris.
You don't know who it was against?
No, actually, I don't. I don't. But Jerry Rice beat the dude.
I can't believe Jerry Rice got a touchdown at a game you were at. That's pretty hard to believe. That only happened once in a while.
All right, that's it for the show, everybody. Thank you for being with us today. Chris and I are going to be back tomorrow. I have the Skraby show in about 5 minutes, so stay right there.
The Chronicle's going to be any good tonight?
Yeah, I actually got
You're feeling good?
I found a random article about Jason Adam that I really wanted to talk about because he has a pretty interesting history. So stick with me. Skraby show next on 97.3 The Fan.
Padres Guardians.
0-2.